Chapter 2203. I will as long as you stop right now. I can forgive you. Ha, what about Qin Shu? He won't let me go, right? Even if he does, Hua Xiqian won't let me go, because I know that if I hurt even a hair on Hua Min's head, you'll kill me. Ha, so I can't turn back, it's too late. It's too late, Jian Tong muttered to herself. Suyu was afraid that she would hurt Hua Min, so he tried to calm her down. It's not too late, as long as you let go of Hua Min now. It's not too late. Jian Tong looked at Suyu with a complicated expression. Suyu, last night, I had a dream. I dreamed that I wasn't a superstar, and you weren't a CEO. We were just ordinary people living an ordinary life together. Maybe everyone thinks that I like you because I want to be a young lady of Imperial Star, the daughter-in-law of the Su family, but I want to tell you that even if you don't have anything, I still like you. Maybe they don't believe me, but it doesn't matter because I've already said it. If I don't say it now, I won't have the chance to do it again. I had a bad feeling when I woke up this morning. Did you know? When I was young, every time I saw a crow, even if it was just one, I would have bad luck for the whole day. But this morning I saw a flock of crows, so many of them. I've never seen so many crows in my life, so I knew that I had bad luck today. Even though I don't look like a human or a ghost right now, I still want to live. But you guys forced me to my death. You didn't give me a chance to live. Jian Tong's eyes were filled with hatred as she said this. No one forced you. You forced yourself into a dead end. Jian Tong, you can't always put the blame on others and think that you're the one who suffered the most. That's not fair, Hua Min couldn't help but say. After listening for so long, she realized that Jian Tong's worldview was indisputable and even distorted. She always said that she was like Do-yi, full of grievances, and that others had let her down. How could she be happy? No wonder he kept making mistakes. Shut up. Do you think I won't send you to hell right now? Jian Tong increased the force of her voice. The blood on Hua Min's neck had coagulated a little and seeped a little. With such a low temperature, she could no longer feel any pain. Instead, he felt cold and numb. Hua Min, don't say any more. Suyu reminded Hua Min in a low voice, not letting her continue to anger Jian Tong. Suyu, I really like you. I'm not like those other women. Zhao Qingyao likes your money. Mian likes your power. I'm the only one who's sincere. But why don't you love me? Jian Tong said as she burst into tears again. The onlookers on a rooftop were chased away by the police, afraid that they would interrupt or cause an even bigger accident. Even Jian Tong's mother was arranged to stay outside the police cordon and wait for news. Suyu stood there, facing off with Jian Tong, but there was no result. It seemed that no matter what he said, Jian Tong couldn't move her body and give the sniper the best chance to shoot. Time passed by slowly, and the temperature was getting lower and lower. Gaoran was also anxious. What should we do, Chu? Should we attack? No, it's too dangerous. Chu shook his head. Chapter 2204. He lowered his head and thought for a few seconds. Then, he whispered something in a Gao Ran's ear before he turned around and went downstairs. Qin Shu reached the rooftop as fast as he could and stood next to Suyu. The moment she saw Qin Shu, Hua Min's eyes began to tear up. Honey, she immediately turned into a little girl when she saw Qin Shu. Her heart was filled with grievances. Qin Shu gently shook his head at her, indicating for her not to speak. Jian Tong became even angrier when she saw Qin Shu. Don't force me, or else I'll kill her right now. If you didn't force me, I would have agreed to any of your requests. So, don't act rashly, Qin Shu said coldly as he looked at Jian Tong. I don't believe you. You're full of tricks. No, I'll give you 10 more minutes. 10 minutes at most. If the helicopter doesn't arrive, I'll die with her. Ha! I won't be lonely on the road to the afterlife. After she spoke, Jian Tong pulled Hua Min back a little. Suyu and Qin Shu were so scared that their hearts were about to jump out of their chests. Hua Min could only feel her body leaning backwards. She was on the verge of falling over. Qin Shu didn't care about Jian Tong. He looked at Hua Min and said softly, Honey, don't be scared. Let me sing you a song. Suyu was slightly stunned. Then, she turned her head and looked at Qin Shu strangely. She thought to herself, You still have the mood to sing at a time like this? However, Hua Min wasn't surprised. She nodded her head as tears flowed down her face, indicating for Chin Chu to sing. If there really was an accident, she would be satisfied that the last person she saw was Chin Chu. She originally wanted to tell her husband about some things like taking care of the twins. However, before she could say anything, Chin Chu started singing. We've returned to the very beginning and the memory of your youthful face. We've finally arrived at this day, old photos under the table cushion, countless memories linked together. Today, the boy's going to meet the girl for the last time. Those Years was a song that both Chin Chu and Huamin liked very much. Every time they listened to this song together, they would be reminded of their high school life, so it resonated very well. Those beautiful memories could not be finished in 3 days and 3 nights. Most of the time, Chin Chu sat on the bench on the balcony while Huamin sat beside her. The two of them sang along as they listened. Huamin would even sway left and right affectionately. Therefore, when Chin Chu sang this song again, Huamin still swayed his head from side to side tacitly, following the rhythm of the music. At this moment, Chin Chu suddenly made an okay gesture to the air. In the old industrial building across the street, Gao Ran held a pair of binoculars and stared at it without daring to move. After seeing Chin Chu's gesture, he immediately ordered, "Shoot." With a loud bang, the bullet flew from behind and pierced through Jian Tong's head. Then, it flew out of her head. It just so happened that Huamin tilted his head to the rhythm, so he dodged it. The timing was just right. However, because Jian Tong was too close to Huamin after she was shot, when she leaned back, Huamin also lost his balance. She also leaned back with Jian Tong. Huamin, Mian. So you and Chin Chu were both dumbfounded and rushed over. Jian Tong was unable to fight back because she was shot. She fell from the 12th floor and died on the spot. In a panic, Huamin grabbed onto a railing at the edge of the rooftop. His entire body was suspended in mid-air. At this moment, Chin Chu rushed over and grabbed Huamin's hand. He used all his strength to pull her up, honey. After Huamin came up, Chin Chu held her tightly in his arms. Chapter 22:05. She had been holding back her emotions for a long time. Now, she burst into tears. Wah wah wah. It's okay, it's okay. It's all over now. You did a great job. You knew you had to move your head away when I was singing. That gave the sniper a chance to shoot. Honey, you did a great job. I'm proud of you. Chin Chu comforted Huamin. Then he held her face in his hands and kissed the tears on her face in a panic. So you wanted to say something as well. He felt sorry for Huamin. However, at this moment, he realized how unnecessary he was. He was an outsider between the couple. He could only watch but could never participate, especially when he heard Chin Chu say that the singing was a trap so that Huamin could cooperate with her. When he shot the sniper, he couldn't help but feel that the couple had a real tacit understanding. Therefore, so you didn't say anything in the end. He turned around and walked down the rooftop silently. Chin Chu carried Huamin back to the hospital and sent him directly to the emergency room. After all, he had been outside in the cold for a long time. There was a knife wound on Huamin's neck. Although it wasn't fatal, it was still bleeding a lot. Any doctor in the emergency room could have handled it, but Chin Chu didn't feel at ease. He changed into a sterile white coat and went into the emergency room with the doctors. He bandaged Huamin's wound himself. Jian Tong's sudden death was a heavy blow to her family. So you sent out Imperial Star's legal team and paid them 50 million to keep Jian Tong's family quiet. They also announced that Jian Tong had committed suicide by jumping off a building because her face was disfigured after a car accident. The Public Security Bureau also closed the case quickly because of the suspect's death. Huamin fell seriously ill because of this incident. He stayed in the hospital for 3 days and then asked for sick leave to recuperate at home. Suyu returned to his busy work. Jian Tong's death was a great loss to Imperial Star. Therefore, Suyu launched a full-scale audition for new female artists. At the same time, Cici's sister, Nia Xian, was discharged from the hospital and began to replace Jian Tong to take on some advertising endorsements and commercial performances. It was ironic that Jian Tong used to bully others because of her identity and wanted to steal Nia Xuan's endorsement. Now that she was dead, Everything went to someone else. President Su, Miss Nia will be the finale of this year's year-end banquet. Is there a problem? The director of the planning department asked carefully. No problem. Let's do that. Su didn't even turn his head. President Su, and I Yang's holiday is almost over. Do you have any plans after the new year? Do you want to arrange a concert? We'll talk about it when he comes back. President Su, we think we're short of talent right now. There are too few female artists who can perform. Maybe you can persuade Miss Nia's sister to sign with our company. After all, she's very beautiful and was Miss Nia's stunt double before. She's very talented in acting. Nialing Xi's agent suggested. It depends on the person involved. We can't just do whatever we want. You could talk to Nialing Xian and her sister face to face. Let me know if you have any news. Okay, President Su. That's all. You can leave now. After a busy afternoon, Suyu was so anxious that he didn't even have time to drink a sip of water. After his subordinates left, the office door was pushed open again. Didn't I tell you everything? Why are you back? Suyu thought was his subordinate and looked up impatiently. Are you excited to see me? Tang Chuan asked with a naughty smile. What the? Why are you back? Chapter 2206. I'm back for Chinese New Year. Tang Chuan sat down on the sofa in Suyu's office as if he was at home. Chinese New Year? Don't be ridiculous. It's true. You came back on your own? Suyu looked at him mysteriously. Of course. How could I have my wife and kids with me? Tang Chuan laughed. What about Qi Ning? Did you get her and get ready to dump her? Or did you get her again and go home? Suyu was confused. Before they left, Tang Chuan said that even if he didn't come back for Chinese New Year, he would coax and pester Qi Ning to get her. How long had it been? It hadn't even been Chinese New Year yet. Look at me. Of course, I didn't get her. Actually, Ning. Sai, forget it. I'm depressed. Do you have anything to do after work? Nothing. Let's go drink. I haven't gone out in a long time. Let's go. I'm not scared of you. Haha. Whoever doesn't get drunk today is a little bastard, Tang Chuan called out. Let's go, little bastard. Don't waste time. Suyu put his arm around Tang Chuan's shoulder and laughed as they walked out of Imperial Star's headquarters. Just like that, Suyu and Tang Chuan hit it off and went to Seductive Fox nightclub. Back then, after Rick left, Tang Chuan accepted it and bought it with his own money. However, no one knew that it was his nightclub because he hired a reliable man to manage it. There were more than 20 people in the huge private room. Tang Chuan was probably in a bad mood, so he invited so many people to drink with him. Suyu and Tang Chuan sat in the middle of the sofa. It was obvious that they were in a high position. People kept coming over to toast them. The two of them also drank quite a lot. Why isn't Wei Liao here yet? Suyu looked at the door of the private room. Wei Liao isn't coming, Tang Chuan answered as he played with his phone. It can't be. Old Wei isn't a henpecked husband. Besides, knowing that this is your organization's venue, Old Wei won't disrespect you. Suyu was puzzled. It's not a matter of face or not. He heard that young Master Shin would come, so Tang Chuan did not continue. After hearing what Tang Chuan said, Suyu immediately knew what was going on. Previously, the four young masters had a good relationship with each other. Later, after Shin Mingxi and Wei Ying got married and divorced, everyone knew about it. The Shun and Wei clans also turned from relatives to enemies, cutting off all business dealings. Wei Ying seemed to be full of resentment. The Wei family spoiled their youngest daughter, so naturally, she was resentful toward Shun Mingxi. When Wei Liao heard that Shun Mingxi was there, he naturally didn't come to avoid embarrassment. With Wei Liao's calm personality, naturally, he would not do anything, nor would he make sarcastic remarks and make things awkward with young Master Shin. But after all, other than this matter, it was better for them not to meet. Tang Chuan told Wei Liao that the three of them would find another time to meet in private. As soon as he said this, the door of the private room opened. Shin Mingxi walked in, dressed in dark gray casual clothes. The person behind him was none other than Hua Yinyan. After not seeing her for a long time, Hua Yinyan looked much prettier than before. Perhaps it was because she was not as arrogant and domineering as before. Hua Yinyan didn't dress up as ostentatiously as before. She only wore a beige woolen coat. She wore a white scarf, small heels, shoulder-length hair, and light makeup. She was very low-key. Her style was somewhat similar to Huamin's. Looking at it this way, Hua Yinyan was actually not bad. Damn, what's going on? Are they really together? Suyu asked in a gossipy whisper. Chapter 2207. Rumor had it that Shun Mingxi and Wei Ying divorced because of Hua Yinyan, which was ridiculous. After all, Hua Yinyan was no longer the young lady of an aristocratic family. She was no longer a lowly phoenix. Not only was her marriage a failure, but she was also living the life of a salesperson with her daughter. Who would have thought that Shin Mingxi would bring her to public events? Looks like it's true. Good thing Wei Ying didn't come. Or else. Damn, that would be so embarrassing. Tang Chuan was also shocked. After Shin Mingxi walked in, everyone stood up and greeted him. Then, he walked over and sat beside Su Yu, holding Hua Yinyan's hand. Young Master Su, young Master Tang. Hua Yinyan nodded and greeted them. Su Yu and Tang Chuan nodded back. How's it going? Did you get Qinshu? Shin Mingxi picked up a glass of wine from the table and looked at Tang Chuan. Huh? When did you start to like gossip? Tang Chuan laughed. Who didn't know you were so high profile at the birthday party? Okay, maybe I was too high profile at the party and didn't manage to get her. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to run back from the States. It's okay, young Master Tang. You never lack women. Shin Mingxi was a man of few words, but his words were precise. Suyu was the closest to Shun Mingxi, so they talked a lot in private, mostly about investment and business. Hua Yinyan sat on the side, feeling a bit awkward. Tang Chuan looked at Hua Yinyan and asked, No wonder Huamin was complaining about not seeing you. So you're with young Master Shun? Yeah. Hua Yinyan nodded awkwardly. After that incident, she didn't go to the place Huamin arranged for her, nor did she accept the money he gave her. Then, she disappeared. It wasn't that she didn't want to see Huamin, but she was afraid that he would scold her, so she didn't dare to see him. Young Master Tang, don't be a busybody. Mind your own business. You're not young anymore. You don't even have a proper girlfriend. That's enough. Shin Mingxi seemed to be different from before. He was more talkative than before. So you noticed it. Maybe it was because he was with Hua Yinyan. Shin Mingxi seemed to be more cheerful. I've never lacked women. Thank you. Tang Chuan shook his wine and crossed his legs. At this time, two young models with big breasts walked in. They should be playmates brought by other rich second generations. Young Master Tang, let's play a game? Guess our chest sizes. If you guess correctly, we'll go with you. You can play with us however you want. One of the girls with a standard online celebrity face said with a smile. The other girl, who looked more innocent, was a little shy. She looked at Tang Chuan with a shy smile. What if I'm wrong? Tang Chuan asked calmly. If you're wrong, you'll come with us, the woman said shamelessly. Suyu chuckled. Young Master Tang, take care of yourself. Can you handle two of us? Suyu teased him. In the past, Tang Chuan would have made some ridiculous guesses, but he wouldn't actually take them with him. Most of the time, he only dared to talk about it. After all, those women were filthy. Tang Chuan wasn't that hungry. However, Tang Chuan didn't seem to be in the mood today. He didn't even want to play. He looked at Su Yu and said, I don't want to play such a fun game. I'll leave it to Lord Su. Your Lord Su always has good taste. If you serve him well, you might become star as an imperial star. Chapter 2208. Upon hearing what Tang Chuan said, the two women immediately looked at Su Yu. Lord Su. Aye. The young model seemed to want to move closer to Su Yu. Su Yu immediately waved his hand. No, I don't have the fortune to enjoy it. You two can go play somewhere else. Su Yu took out a stack of money from his wallet. It was at least tens of thousands. It was not that Su Yu liked to burn money, but it was the rule here. After all, these women were brought here by rich people. They took the initiative to come to him for nothing more than money. Many young models looked like models on the surface, but in fact, they had never shot a single advertisement. Most of them were just outside, accompanying people to eat, drink, and sleep. This kind of company was even more desperate than a hostess. So since they said so, they could not go back empty-handed. So you sent the two women away with money. Although the two women were a little disappointed, they still smiled when they saw the money. Thank you, Lord Su. After taking the money and leaving, it was a lot quieter. The three of them drank for a while. Seeing that it was almost 12, Tang Chuan took the initiative to ask, I'm a little hungry. I want to eat porridge. Do you want to go? I'm not going. You guys go. The child doesn't sleep at home. We can't go back too late. Child? Don't joke. When did you have a child? Tang Chuan looked at Shun Mingxi with a smile. It's Yin Yin's child, Shun Mingxi explained. Su Yu and Tang Chuan were stunned. Then, they looked at each other. It seemed that they were a little surprised. If that's the case, I won't force you. Okay, let's meet again another day. Shun Mingxi nodded. He got up and went out with his arm around Hui Yin's shoulder. When he walked out, he carefully opened the door for her. He was very considerate and gentle. I think young Master Shin's personality is a little different from before, Su Yu said to himself. I think he's under Hui Yin's spell. That's why he's so loyal to her. I didn't know that Hui Yin was such a goddess. She made young Master Shin divorce Wei Ying for her and treat her daughter as his own. That's not hard. Maybe I really do have feelings for her. After all, I really do love Hua Min's daughter. So you seem to understand his feelings a little. It's not the same. You've liked Hua Min for many years, and it's ingrained in your heart. But between the two of them, anyway, it feels weird. Luckily, Old Wei didn't come. If he did, it would be even more awkward. After Su Yu and Tang Chuan finished talking, they left and drove straight to a high-end kanji shop. Both of them had a lot to drink, so they ordered 2 servings of kanji and some light pickles. In fact, Tang Chuan also wanted to talk to Su Yu. Tang Chuan kept looking at his phone, as if something was bothering him. Are you waiting for Qin Ning's WeChat? Su Yu guessed. She won't send it to me. I know. Tang Chuan smiled bitterly. That day, he left Qin Ning's house and went to Spain. Since then, they had lost contact. Along the way, he posted about what he ate and drank in Spain, and Qin Ning liked all of them. But she never said anything, and he seemed to be competing with her. Neither of them spoke first, so in the blink of an eye, they hadn't talked for a long time. Other than occasionally liking each other's posts, they didn't talk much. Tang Chuan was used to it. He picked up his phone and looked at it, thinking that Qin Ning might send him a message. But his phone was as quiet as ever. Qin Ning didn't even post anything on her WeChat. Why does it sound like there's something going on between you two? You stayed in the U.S. for more than 20 days. Did you really not get anything? Is she still determined not to accept you? Su Yu asked as he ate his kanji. Chapter 2209. I do have a story, but it's not a lot. It's nothing more than me being her bodyguard, nanny, and assistant for over 20 days. Tang Chuan laughed heartily. Although he spoke casually, Su Yu knew that he wasn't as open-minded as he appeared to be. Tang Chuan was someone who couldn't hide his thoughts. As soon as Su Yu asked, he revealed everything, including Qin Ning's father's intentions. Su Yu thought for a while and asked, So you're here because you don't want to marry into the Qin family and be a live-in son-in-law, right? That's not the point. After all these years, don't you know me? Why would I care about my reputation? So what if I'm a live-in son-in-law? As long as Ning Ning is willing, she can do whatever she wants. Then I'm confused. If that's the case, why did you come back? Isn't it a good thing that her father agreed to your engagement? So he was also confused by Tang Chuan. It sounded like a good thing, so why did it turn into a tragedy? Actually, what I care about the most is Ning Ning's attitude towards me. I think she's not sure about her feelings towards me. Maybe it's because she's touched, or maybe it's because she's used to it. Either way, it's definitely not because she loves me. I'm a hypocritical person, and I feel disgusted. I'm already past the age of dreaming, but I still hope that one day I can be with someone. It's because of love, not because we're of equal social status, not because we're suitable for each other. This was the first time Tang Chuan had said something so emotional. Su Yu wasn't used to it. Young Master Tang, you should know when to stop. After all, not everyone likes each other. Do you think you and Qin Ning are Qin Shu and Hua Min? Plus, in this world, only a few people can be with someone they like and like them. Most people's feelings for each other don't end well. So, you should be content with what you have, Su Yu advised. I understand what you're saying, but I'm still... Sigh. Forget it. Let's not talk about it. It's useless to talk about it. Now that we're back, who knows what will happen in the future? Tang Chuan seemed to be at a loss. Why don't you get together with Wei Ying? Now that she's divorced, she's causing trouble at home. She's quite pitiful. Ha! She's suitable for you. She's feisty, and her social status matches yours. Most importantly, you'll become Old Wei's brother-in-law if you get together with her. Su Yu joked as he drank his porridge. Tang Chuan looked at him with disdain. Lord Su, don't play with me like this. You're still single, and you're Old Wei's brother. Why don't you marry Wei Ying? She's not my type, Su Yu quibbled. And it's definitely not my cup of tea, Tang Chuan said affirmatively. The two brothers chatted until late into the night. Finally, Su Yu was too sleepy, and they went home separately. Tang Chuan returned to his spacious mansion. He was still sleepy a moment ago, but as soon as he entered the door, he immediately woke up. It was late at night in China, but it should still be daytime in Los Angeles. He didn't know what Qi Ning was doing. Qi Ning was always busy at GK headquarters during the day, especially when her father wasn't in the company. She would attend morning meetings on behalf of the president every day and solve a series of problems. At that time, no one would look down on her as a young woman. Instead, she was a vigorous and resolute president. When she got home, Qi Ning would change out of her business attire and put on her home clothes. She was as warm and easygoing as the girl next door. During lunch break, Qi Ning's secretary brought in a cup of coffee and a burger. Miss Qin, here's your lunch. Chapter 22:10. Thank you. Qi Ning didn't even raise her head as she continued reading. After the secretary left, she raised her head and glanced at the burger and coffee. She suddenly missed that person. When Tang Chuan was around, he didn't allow her to have simple lunch. In Tang Chuan's words, if you feed a dog hamburgers every day, even a dog would go crazy, let alone a human. No matter how good Europe and America were, the food they ate was pitiful. Other than steak, pizza, pasta, and hamburgers, there wasn't much to choose from. But Chinese food was different. Just the 8 major cuisines were enough to stun foreigners. When Tang Chuan was at the company, he would often use the company's frying pan to cook egg fried rice for Qi Ning, or he would use the company's frying pan to make simple soup noodles for her. Although it was simple, it was very nutritious, and Qi Ning loved it. Now that Tang Chuan was gone, Qi Ning began her endless burger life. In an instant, she felt a sense of loss. Habits were scary things. Once you got used to it, you would feel extremely wronged when you lost it. Qi Ning picked up her phone and glanced at it. It should be late at night in China. She wondered what Tang Chuan was doing. She posted on her WeChat, habits were scary things because losing something was more painful than not having it. 2 seconds after she posted it, she regretted it and immediately deleted it. Tang Chuan was lying on the bed, playing with his phone and scrolling through his WeChat. When he saw Qi Ning's post, it was gone. Huh, that's weird. I thought I saw her post something. Tang Chuan was speechless. Qi Ning was stubborn, but sometimes Tang Chuan was even more stubborn than her. Just like that, the two often missed each other, but neither of them was willing to take the initiative to speak. Missing each other became a habit. Silently praising each other also became a habit. After Jiantong's death, Huamin fell seriously ill. No one knew if it was because of the shock, or the cold on the roof for too long. In short, he kept coughing, and no amount of medicine or injections helped. Even Qin Shu, who was trained in Western medicine, took Huamin to visit famous Chinese medicine doctors and famous professors in the area. He prescribed a lot of Chinese medicine to boil and drink, but it still didn't work. In the words of Western medicine, there was inflammation in the lungs that had not been cleaned up. In the words of traditional Chinese medicine, it was the internal heat of the lung fire. Therefore, it was necessary to clear the lung and remove the heat. Huamin didn't go to work at Southside either. Occasionally, if there was an emergency, he would drive there for a meeting and then go home immediately after solving it. After President Wu heard about the situation, he immediately gave Huamin a holiday until the 7th day of the first lunar month. Tell her to come back after the new year. Seeing that the spring festival was approaching, the streets began to have a festive atmosphere. Red couplets, lanterns, and firecrackers began to become the favorite decorations of the street vendors. While working, Qin Shu was worried about Huamin, so he often drove home to take her out for a walk. On this day, the twins were brought over by Su Yu to the Su family for dinner. Jixin drove his mother to visit an old friend for dinner. It was rare for the couple to be free, so Qin Shu said that he wanted to take his wife shopping. Although Huamin wasn't in the mood, he didn't want to spoil his mood. The two walked hand in hand to the busiest shopping mall in Central. Perhaps because it was the new year, there were a lot more people than usual. Chanel flagship store. Huamin sat on the sofa, and Qin Shu carefully picked out a pair of shoes for her to put on. The female shop assistants next to them were extremely envious. "Madam, your husband is so good to you. You must have just gotten married, right?" The store manager asked curiously. Chapter 22:11. Huamin looked up at her and gave her a friendly smile. "No, the truth is, we've been married for more than 4 years, and the babies are already 3 years old. Wow. You've been married for 4 years, but you guys are still so loving like a newlywed couple. I'm so jealous." Huamin smiled and didn't say anything else. She never liked to show off, so even if she had many things that others were jealous of, she wouldn't deliberately show them off. "Honey, this pair is not bad either. Stand up and walk around. Is it comfortable?" After putting on the shoes, Qin Shu carefully helped Huamin up. It's okay. Which pair do you like?" Qin Shu looked up gently. "I don't know. They're all not bad. You can choose for me." Huamin was rarely so willful. "Then I'll take them all." Qin Shu got up and was about to swipe his black card. How about 3 pairs?" Huamin kindly reminded him. "I know." Mr. Qin was extremely proud, and then he turned around and said to the store manager, "I want everything that my wife tried on, from shoes to clothes." Okay, sir. Please wait a moment. We'll pack them up right away." The store manager was surprised and happy. "Honey, you're buying so much. We won't be able to wear them all." Huamin pouted. She didn't like to burn money, and you could call her petty or stingy, but she didn't like to waste money. "If you can't wear them all, you can hang them in your closet," Mr. Qin insisted. These words really made all the female shop assistants jealous. What kind of husband was this? If he couldn't wear them all, he would hang them in the closet. Wow, this man was the best husband in China. Not to mention, Qin Shu was a successful young man with a lot of money. A sweet-looking female employee seemed to recognize Qin Shu, so she walked over and shyly asked, "Excuse me, are you Mr. Qin Shu, the president of GK?" Qin Shu nodded slightly. "President Qin, is that really you? I really admire you. Last weekend, the Finance Channel even broadcasted your exclusive interview. You really are a talented and capable entrepreneur." The girl looked at Qin Shu with her eyes shining. "Thank you." In the face of such praise, Qin Shu's reply was very official. "Then, can you give me an autograph?" The girl was a little excited and a little shy. "No." Qin Shu refused directly. This made the girl's face very gloomy. She seemed to have not expected to be rejected. Huamin coughed awkwardly. "Huamin, don't be like that. Just sign it for me. I'm not a celebrity. I won't do such boring things." Qin Shu directly denied. "Then, President Qin, can we take a picture together? I really admire you." The girl seemed unwilling to give up. She held her phone and moved closer to Qin Shu. After Qin Shu quickly swiped his card and signed his autograph, he walked towards Huamin without looking back. Then, he mercilessly refused. "I never take pictures with women other than my wife." Ahem. Huamin coughed again. Her husband sent her aside was really, "Have my stuff delivered to my address." "Thank you." "Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Qin. Take care." Qin Shu held Huamin's hand as they left the store. The girl behind them stomped her foot angrily. "What? Qin Shu has such bad taste. His wife isn't pretty at all. She's too average, not even 1/10 as pretty as me. What do you guys think?" The girl thought that she was pretty and superior. Therefore, when she saw Huamin, she was secretly happy that she wasn't that outstanding. Chapter 22:12. The girl originally thought she was pretty, so she wanted to get close to Qin Shu. She didn't expect things to turn out this way. After being rejected, she didn't want to give up, so she vented her anger on Huamin, blaming Huamin for not being pretty enough. It was as if saying this would make her feel better. The female store manager looked at her and sighed. You're still young, so you're too shallow. It's useless for a woman to be just pretty. The most important thing is that she's cultured, elegant, knowledgeable, and charismatic. That's why she's able to attract such an outstanding man. If it's just about being pretty, that's easy. Look at the streets and alleys. There are so many mistresses who are pretty, but why can't they enter the family? Look at a certain sports champion. She's not even pretty, so how did she manage to marry into a wealthy family? Look at those wealthy families. How many of them look at their wives' looks? How many female celebrities end up happy after marrying into a wealthy family? The store manager's words made the girl blush, but she couldn't refute. Although Mrs. Chin isn't very pretty, she has a unique aura that I like. She's not unreasonable, and she's well-educated. Even I, a stranger, liked her. So don't judge a book by its cover. Beauty won't last long, and beauty will eventually fade. But if she can make a man love her for the rest of his life, then she's the biggest winner in life. Perhaps it was because the store manager was old, experienced a lot, and had seen a lot. That's why she said something like this. After they left the store, Huamin leaned into Chin Chu's arms like a little bird. You didn't give her face just now. Honey, she worships you. I don't need her to worship me. Okay, honey, you're still cold and arrogant, just like when we were in school. But I like it. Huamin giggled in Chin Chu's arms. Chin Chu didn't want her to feel cold, so he pulled up the scarf around her neck. Don't play around. Walk properly, or you'll cough badly if you catch a cold. Chin Chu said patiently. Honey, I want to eat pizza. When they passed by Pizza Hut, Huamin suddenly felt like eating a simple meal. In fact, Chin Chu usually didn't advise her to eat these. After all, they were all fried and weren't that healthy. However, since his wife wanted to eat, he had to fulfill her wish. Originally, he had brought her out to relax. Let's go and eat now. Chin Chu walked in with his arm around Huamin's waist and ordered some food. Chin Chu received a phone call and walked to the corridor to deal with some work. Huamin happily sat by the window, eating French fries. She didn't even notice when Immerse came in and sat down across from her. You seem to be in a good mood. Immerse looked at Huamin with a strange smile on her face. Huamin looked up. When she saw Immerse, her bright smile disappeared. I didn't think that you would take care of Jiantong so quickly and in such a tragic way. Huamin, you're getting better and better, and your methods are getting more and more vicious. Immerse laughed exaggeratedly. What do you mean by that? Huamin stared at Immerse with a dark expression. You're so smart, don't you know? Don't play dumb. You know what I mean. Immerse smiled mysteriously. Jiantong's death was her own doing. I'm not going to take the blame for it. Miss Imo, you're an interesting person. No matter what happens to me, you blame it on me. Are you the Virgin Mary? Huamian said sarcastically. Chapter 22:13. Haha, you sure have a sharp tongue. You're just relying on the fact that you have a man to back you up. Who do you think you are? Immerse's words were extremely vicious. It seemed like she had always held a grudge against Huamin. I'm fine even without a man to back me up. Don't confuse me with you. I'm not the kind of woman who can't live without a man. You, on the other hand, think about yourself. Huasiqian hasn't done anything lately, right? Immerse's expression changed slightly. Haha, are you even more scared now? You? Imo shouldn't say anything, but her eyes were filled with fear. Don't laugh at Jiantong. You might not end up any better than Jiantong. Ever since you laid your hands on Huasiqian, there was no turning back. You're inching closer and closer to death. If I were you, I'd pack up and run as far away as I can, instead of hiding like a coward under Grandpa Xiang's protection. After all, if Huasiqian wants to kill you, even God wouldn't be able to save you. You make it sound like you know Huasiqian very well. Immerse sneered. Of course I know him better than you do. I've known him for so many years. Huamin's expression was indifferent. But have you ever slept in the same bed as him? No. I just shared a bed with him. So, you don't know him as well as I do. Mo shui. You're disgusting. Huamin rarely attacked a person directly, especially a woman. However, at this moment, Mo shui. Words made Huamin's heart burn with anger. Haha, you make it sound like you're a noble person, but we're in the same boat. I'm disgusted by you as well. I came here today to see how many tricks you have up your sleeve. Anyone who goes against you doesn't have a good ending. You're the real vixen. Haha, you don't have a face that makes people fall in love with you at first sight, but you have a heart that can bewitch men. Huamian, you're really something. I, Mo shui, have met so many women in my life, but you're the only one I admire. You're the kind of bitch who pretends to be a saint. At least it's better than being a shameless whore. Huamin was furious, so he cursed. Okay, then I wish you the best. But you'll get what you deserve, Mo shui whispered into her ear. If I get what I deserve, it'll be because I wasn't decisive enough. Good and evil will always be rewarded. I believe that God has eyes, and I'm willing to bear witness to your end. I hope you could die a comfortable death. But you're on your own now that you've pissed off that devil Huasiqian. Huamin warned. Mo shui stood up angrily, turned around, and left. She bumped into Qin Shu, who had just called back. Qin Shu, your wife is great, but you have to keep an eye on her. Don't let Huasiqian kidnap her one day. Mo shui cursed viciously. Don't worry. You should think about how to live a few more days. After all, it's going to be Chinese New Year soon. Qin Shu's tongue was as sharp as ever. Mo shui was so angry that her face turned green and white. After Mo shui left, Qin Shu sat down across from Huamin. What's that woman doing here? What else could she be doing? She's just mocking me. She said that I was the one who did it to Jian Tong. Huamin lowered his head, calmly eating French fries as he answered. Don't worry about someone like that. Qin Shu comforted him. Of course, if I listened to everyone, then I wouldn't be able to live anymore. After all, I'm not pretty, but Mr. Qin still likes me. Back in school, I was under a lot of pressure. Huamin laughed. She didn't know when, but there was ketchup on the corner of her mouth. Qin Shu took out a tissue, gently raised his hand, and wiped her mouth. So, Mrs. Qin, thank you for taking the pressure and choosing to be with me back then. Chapter 22:14. You're welcome. Huamin chuckled. Late at night, Huasiqian sat in his study, looking at a photo of Huamin when he was young. He didn't even know where he got his hands on a photo of Huamin when he was young. He was about 4 or 5 years old, wearing a floral dress with 2 braids. Huamin still had baby fat back then. However, his facial features were still delicate. When he looked at the camera, there was a calm smile on his face. Huamin's signature smile was Huasiqian's favorite. He touched the photo lovingly and touched the corner of Huamin's mouth. He can smile so calmly at such a young age. His voice was filled with endless love. Boss. His subordinate knocked on the door. Come in. Boss, we found out that Mo shui sent people to follow Miss Yan's car. We suspect that she might want to make a move on Miss Yan. Isn't that great? After she makes a move, we can record the evidence and give it to Mayor Yin directly. Huasiqian's face was calm. But we found out that those men are plotting against Miss Yin. They might want to rape Miss Yin. If we wait until they're done and we record the evidence, then there's no turning back. Do you really want to do this? Huasiqian's subordinates had seen Yin Ruoshi's love for their boss over the years. Although Huasiqian didn't like her, she still came over often to buy fruits and vegetables. She even went to the supermarket to buy some daily necessities for Huasiqian. In the past few years, Huasiqian's constant women were none other than Song Yishu, Yin Ruoshi, and Mo shui. To his subordinates, Yin Ruoshi was the best because she didn't have a bad temper and was easy to get along with. Therefore, they were also worried about the current situation. Isn't that the best? Only then will Mayor Yin want to chop that bitch up and save us the trouble. Huasiqian said slowly. Boss, Miss Yin is very pitiful. If something happens to her, get lost. I know what I'm doing. I don't need you to teach me what to do. Huasiqian was annoyed. Yes, boss. The subordinate was so scared that he immediately left the room and closed the door. The grudge between Mo Shui and Yin Ruashi wasn't new. Yin Ruashi scolded Mo Shui for framing Hua Xiqian in a car accident. She even hired a lot of paid posters to spread posts about Mo Shui's dark past. Moreover, he didn't allow his father to grant land to the Xiang clan. All kinds of things were in the way. Therefore, Mo Shui decided to use her as an example. Mo Shui's methods were extremely cruel. Therefore, Yin Ruashi had no idea that she was being followed. It wasn't until she was knocked out and taken to a warehouse in the suburbs that she realized that she was done for. What are you doing? Yin Ruashi looked at the men in front of her in panic. What do you think? Girl, you're pretty good looking. Your skin is as good as milk. I'll make you feel good later, a fat man with big ears said as he touched Yin Ruashi's chin. She suddenly felt like vomiting. Get lost. Don't touch me. Do you know who I am? Do you know who my father is? Yin Ruashi roared. Who your father is has nothing to do with us. We're only in charge of getting paid to do things. So be good and cooperate. Otherwise, we won't go easy on you later. That bitch Mo Shui did this, right? How much did she pay you? I'll double it, no, triple it. Yin Ruashi panicked. Chapter 22:15. It has nothing to do with money. In our line of work, we have to keep our promises. You can only blame yourself for being unlucky. Little girl, you guys strip her naked and stand here alone to film and take pictures. Don't forget what your employer told you to do, the leader ordered. Yin Ruashi fell into despair when she heard this. Don't force me. I'll bite my tongue and kill myself. Whatever. Either you bite yourself, and we won't bother with you if you die, or you cooperate. We don't want your life. Threatening them with death didn't seem to work. Yin Ruashi fell into despair. She cried, Hua Xiqian, I hope you can come and save me. She knew it was impossible. After all, they weren't filming. How could it be so coincidental that Hua Xiqian would show up? His coat was rudely pulled off, and his shirt was unbuttoned. Yin Ruashi cried in despair. She hated Mo Shui to the core. Someone really isn't afraid of death. How dare they touch my people? Who is it? Who is it? The men turned around when they heard the noise. They saw Hua Xiqian standing not far behind them. He was wearing a black coat and a pair of black leather gloves. Qian, is that really you? Yin Ruashi couldn't describe her feelings at this moment. Hua Xiqian. The leader obviously knew Hua Xiqian. Very good. You recognize me. Looks like we don't have to waste time talking. Hua Xiqian smiled. Mr. Hua, the truth is we were asked to do this. It really wasn't our intention. The leader didn't expect Hua Xiqian to show up. He panicked. The men behind Hua Xiqian all had pistols in their hands. In comparison, the axes in their hands were child's play. I'm sorry, I'm in a hurry. I don't have time to listen to your explanation. So, let's get this over with. Hua Xiqian waved his hand, and his men rushed forward. Don't use guns. We need to keep a low profile. Hua Xiqian didn't forget to remind them. As a result, the scene was chaotic and filled with screams and howls. The leader of the group scrambled to Hua Xiqian's feet and reached out to grab his leather shoes. Mr. Hua, I'm sorry. Please give us a way out. Hua Xiqian pulled out a dagger from somewhere. He squatted down and touched the man's face. Then he pressed down on his neck and slit it with a knife. Blood spurted out instantly. The action of cutting the throat was extremely clean and neat, as if he often did this kind of thing. It was so casual. Yin Ruashi was so scared that she couldn't say a word. Hua Xiqian walked over, took off his clothes, and covered Yin Ruashi's body with them. Then, he picked her up. Leave no one alive. Yes, boss. Hua Xiqian walked out with Yin Ruashi in his arms. Behind him, there were cries of agony. For the first time, Yin Ruashi felt that the Hua Xiqian in front of her was a stranger. Killing people was as easy as killing a chicken. He didn't even blink. She didn't even feel anything after they got into the car. Yin Ruashi finally calmed down and stammered. Qian, thank you for coming to save me. Hua Xiqian leaned against the back seat of his Rolls-Royce and closed his eyes to rest. Originally, he really didn't want to help. He wanted to wait for the tragedy to end and then reap the benefits. However, he didn't know what was wrong with him. He just felt that it was a little cruel to treat Yin Ruashi this way. After all, she didn't do anything wrong. Therefore, Huasiqian and his men arrived in time. "Didn't I tell you not to provoke Mo Shui?" Huasiqian said coldly. However, he still didn't open his eyes. Yin Ruashi was shocked. She knew that he was angry. Chapter 22:16. Yeah, I just feel bad for you. Mo Shui didn't even think about why she ended up like this. How could she be so shameless as to set you up? Qian, we can't forgive her. She's using that old man from the Xiang family to bully you. I only asked my dad to give them a hard time, and she couldn't take it anymore. She even hired people to rape me. She's so evil. You can't be soft-hearted. I know what to do about Mo Shui. Don't get involved anymore. Also, next time, use your brain and don't run around by yourself. You're the mayor's daughter after all. Huasiqian's tone was still unfriendly. Qian, I know. I'll listen to you from now on. Huasiqian didn't say anything else. In the end, he was moved and didn't let Yin Ruashi be harmed by Mo Shui's people. After sending Yin Ruashi home, Huasiqian ordered someone to drive him to the Xiang family's old mansion. When they passed by a small supermarket, he even got out of the car to buy some things. Mo Shui didn't receive any news from Huasiqian. She didn't know if Huasiqian succeeded or failed. She was quite anxious. She was pacing around in circles. Shui, you're too reckless. She's Mayor Yan's daughter, after all. What you did was too risky. It's good that you did it cleanly, but I'm afraid there will be endless trouble in the future. Mr. Xiang seemed to be very dissatisfied with Mo Shui's actions. I did it because I wanted to avenge you. That little bitch has been talking to her father about things that are disadvantageous to us recently. Otherwise, the land that was in our hands wouldn't have been snatched away by someone else. Could it be that you can swallow this down? Even if you can't, this isn't the right way to do things. You're too reckless. What if you fail? It has nothing to do with us, even if I fail. Those people did it, and I won't leave any evidence behind. Even if Yin Ruashi finds out that I did it, what could she do to me? Mo Shui was getting more and more arrogant. Mr. Xiang was old and doted on Mo Shui, so he didn't say anything else. Master, Mr. Huasiqian is here to visit, the butler called out. Why is he here? Is he here to get even with us? Mo Shui was terrified. Let him in. After all, this is my house. He won't dare to do anything. Mr. Xiang sighed slightly. He knew that Huasiqian might not have come with good intentions. Mo Shui was a little scared. She wore a dark green qipao and sat beside Elder Xiang. Huasiqian came in alone. He didn't bring any of his men with him. He was carrying a red handbag and smiled as he walked. It's almost the Lunar New Year, and I didn't know what to buy for you. When I passed by a small supermarket, I saw these red Chinese characters and couplets for the Lunar New Year. It's very festive, so I bought some for you. Huasiqian, you're too kind. Mr. Xiang and Mr. Huasiqian chatted. Huasiqian looked up at Mo Shui, and smiled. Shui, you become prettier lately, really? Every time Mo Shui, saw Huasiqian smile like that, she felt her hair stand on end. I just saw this Chinese character for happiness. It's very pretty, so I'll give it to you. Are you and Mr. Xiang planning to have a wedding? You're joking, Mr. Huasiqian. I'm already so old. Why would I want to have a wedding? Shui, and I just want to have someone to rely on. Mr. Xiang was a little embarrassed. After all, Huasiqian's words were obviously sarcastic. Mo Shui was obviously not convinced. She looked at Huasiqian provocatively. Chapter 22:17. She raised her chin and said angrily, So what if it's a wedding? I'm officially married into the Xiang family. Mr. Xiang is willing to give me a proper status, so it's better than being with a scumbag. Someone's heart is made of stone. No, he's cruel and unscrupulous. Even if I'm pregnant with his child and die for him, he still won't marry me. But that's fine, I won't always be blind. I'll come to my senses one day. Huasiqian, Do you think you're the only woman in the world? Shwe. You're getting worked up again. Look at you, I didn't even say anything. Then, Hwasichian walked closer to Mo. Shwe was so scared that she backed away. Shwe, this red flower suits you very well. You look good wearing it, right? It's almost New Year. You have to dress up. Then, Hwasichian stuck the red flower in his hand into Mo Shwe's head. She furrowed her brows. Hwasichian, what are you trying to do? Mo Shwe felt like she was going crazy. Thank you for the gift to Ruashi. But unfortunately, the people who gave it to you accidentally disappeared. Mo Shwe's heart sank when she heard Hwasichian's words. It seemed like she had messed up. I want to thank you on behalf of Ruashi. We'll repay you later. After all, it's impolite not to reciprocate, right? Hwasichian gently lifted Mo Shwe's chin. Mo Shwe felt like Hwasichian was trying to tear her heart apart behind his gentleness. If you're a man, just stab me, kill me, and end everything. Mo Shwe was especially afraid of Hwasichian's weird side. She didn't know what he was going to do to her, so she was even more afraid. I won't. At least, I won't let you die more comfortably than Song Isher. Hwasichian hugged Mo Shwe's head and whispered into her ear. Suddenly, Mo Shwe felt goosebumps all over her body. There had never been a man more terrifying than him. Okay, I won't disturb the two of you any longer. You guys can continue to be lovey-dovey. I still have to go to the supermarket to buy some New Year's goods. Everyone should celebrate the New Year happily. After Hwasichian finished speaking, he smiled and left. Mo Shwe sat on the armchair, dumbfounded. She gasped for breath. Shwe, are you all right? Noticing her abnormal state, Elder Xiong walked over with his walking stick and asked. Mo Shwe waved her hand, but didn't say anything. South Hill Manor, the twins had just taken their afternoon nap when Hwamin came downstairs and went into the kitchen to check on the food for dinner. At this moment, his phone rang. Sis, we're back. And Yang's voice was tinged with excitement. So soon. Why don't you come over for dinner tonight? Sure. We really miss Chinese food. Can we have Chinese food? I like spicy food. No problem. Go home and change your clothes before coming over. Dinner will be served at 6 p.m. sharp. Okay, sis. Do you still remember what I told you? And Yang asked worriedly. Of course, your sister doesn't have Alzheimer's yet. Hwamin laughed. That's good. Then let's not waste any time. Let's do it tonight. Tonight? Isn't that too soon? It's not too soon. I can't wait. Hurry up and discuss it with my brother-in-law. And Yang looked excited. Okay. I'll discuss it with your brother-in-law in a bit. After hanging up, Hwamin sighed. Young people these days were crazy. Then, she picked up her phone and video called Qin Shu. Chapter 22:18. Honey, are you busy? No, go ahead. Qin Shu's answer made all the executives in the conference room feel embarrassed. It was the end of the year, and they were only 1/3 of the way through the year-end report. Hwamin's call came at the perfect time, but it was a good thing. All of GK's senior employees knew that President Qin spoiled his wife to no end. Anything related to Hwamin was a big deal to him. No matter how busy he would never say that he was busy. And Yang is back, and he's coming over for dinner tonight. Also, about the plan I told you about last time, we need to help him. Okay, Qin Shu nodded. Do you know what the plan is? You haven't forgotten, have you? Hwamin remembered telling Mr. Qin about it one night before they went to bed. But it had been a few days, and she wasn't sure if he remembered. I remember, honey. Qin Shu's voice was extremely gentle. Okay, come back early today. Let's set it up. Okay. No problem. Okay, I'll leave you to it. I'm hanging up. Okay, see you in a bit. Qin Shu's eyes were filled with love the entire time. The female executives in the room were so envious that their eyes lit up. They were all envious that Hwamin had such a good husband. But then again, they also knew that President Hua had created miracles in the past 3 years. Therefore, most people only saw Qin Shu as handsome and rich, but few knew that Hwamin was just as good. Only the strong deserve the strong. At 5:30 p.m., Qin Shu came home on time. The twins flew into Qin Shu's arms. Daddy, you've worked hard. Hug. Little Bean flattered as usual. Thank you, Little Bean. Daddy didn't work hard. Chinshu's heart was filled with warmth. Daddy, your shirt looks good today. I'll give you 100 likes. Pudding glanced at her daddy's shirt. She found that this black and white color was the same one worn by Yang Yang in the popular TV series A Slight Smile is Very Alluring a while ago. It was a casual shirt from a certain luxury brand. It was very beautiful and looked very young when worn. No one could tell that Chinshu was a man in his 30s. Your mommy chose this. Chinshu smiled. Io, looks like mommy has improved. Pudding was a little surprised. Little Bean covered her mouth and laughed. That's true. Mommy's taste was so old-fashioned in the past. The clothes she chose for Daddy are so funny. They look like factory clothes. Who's talking bad about me? Huamin pretended to be angry and walked out of the kitchen with his hands on his hips. Mommy, Sis and I are praising your taste for dressing Daddy up like a handsome middle-aged man. But you're really good at it. Aren't you worried that your husband will run away with you? Little Bean asked on purpose. Of course not. I believe in my husband. Huamin raised her chin confidently. Mommy, I'll give you 100 points for showing off your love. What can we eat now? I'm so hungry, Little Bean yelled as she covered her round belly. Someone's eating again. What did Handsome Sue teach you last time? Pudding glanced at Little Bean in disdain. Handsome Sue said, I can't be greedy, but he didn't say I can't eat. Sis, you're too much. The two sisters were arguing about food again. Just then, the doorbell rang. The housekeeper opened the door and saw Chan Jia standing at the door in a burgundy coat. Her hands were full of gifts. Auntie Jia, you're here. The twins immediately ran over and held Chun Jie's hands enthusiastically. Chapter 22:19. Like Huamin, Chun Jie kept a low profile and didn't pay much attention to her appearance. However, ever since their relationship was made public, she didn't want to be a burden to Ni Yang and was afraid that paparazzi would take pictures of her. Therefore, Chun Jie began to dress herself up. She looked very intellectual and dressed elegantly. Pudding, Little Bean, these are the gifts we bought for you in Bali and Tahiti. There are toys and beach dresses. I hope you like them. Chun Jie handed them a lot of gifts. Thank you, Auntie Jia. The twins were very good at pretending to be obedient. They accepted the gifts and immediately thanked her. Sister Mian, brother-in-law, Chun Jie greeted her with a smile. Come on in. The kitchen is still preparing. We'll eat later. Let's talk. Huamin took Chun Jie's hand and sat down on the sofa in the living room. They chatted and asked about everything. They talked about Bali, Tahiti, and Southside Recuperation Center. After half an hour, Chun Jie couldn't sit still anymore. She looked at her watch. Sister Mian, and Ayang isn't here yet. He didn't come with you? I thought you came one after the other. Huamin was surprised. After we got off the plane, we went back to our respective homes. We agreed to meet at your place at 6 p.m., but it's already past 6 p.m. He's not the type to be late. Chun Jie began to feel uneasy. Oh, I think it's rush hour. He's probably stuck in a traffic jam. Huamin explained. Chun Jie nodded. Yeah, that's possible. Another 20 minutes passed, but there was still no sign of Ni Yang. Chun Jie couldn't sit still anymore. She sent Ni Yang a WeChat message, but there was no response. She called him again. The call went through, but no one picked up. Just then, Huamin's cell phone rang. Hello? What? Say that again. How is it? Where's he now? Huamin panicked. After he hung up, his face turned pale. What's wrong, Sister Mian? Sister Mian? Chun Jie had a bad feeling about this. Xiao Jie, I'm telling you, don't be agitated. You have to be strong. What's going on? Sister Mian. Chun Jie's voice trembled and her heart raced. I just received a call from Southside. And Ayang got into a car accident on his way here. He's in a hospital right now. What? Chun Jie felt dizzy and almost fainted. Fortunately, Huamin reacted quickly and supported her. Are you okay? Little Jie. Chun Jie waved her hand and said, Don't worry about me, Sister Mian. Let's go to the hospital now. Huamin looked at Chin Chu pitifully. Hubby, I'm nervous. I don't dare to drive. Can you take us there? All right, let's go. Daddy, we want to see Uncle and Ayang too. The The twins put down the presents in their hands and ran over. Just like that, Qinshu drove the black Bentley to Southside with Chunjie, Huamin, and the twins. On the way, Chunjie covered her face and cried. Huamin and Qinshu looked grave. The twins comforted her. Auntie Jie, don't cry. Uncle will be fine. Sister Mian, I still can't believe it. How could he? Jie, stay strong. We don't know what's going on yet. We'll talk about it when we get to the hospital. Huamin patted Chunjie's shoulder and comforted her. Qinshu drove fast and arrived at Southside in less than 20 minutes. A group of people rushed directly to the emergency room door. Dr. Kai, how's Ai Yang's injury? Is it serious? Huamin asked. From minutes ago, he was brain dead. What? Chunjie felt as if she had fallen into an ice cellar. The twins also burst into tears. They were extremely sad. Little Chun, as his fiancée, you should go see him and say goodbye, Dr. Kai said cruelly to Chunjie. Chapter 22:20. No, I don't believe it. It can't be true. No, he can't die. Chunjie wanted to cry, but no tears came out. She was so sad that she forgot to cry. Jie, calm down. Huamin comforted Chunjie. Sister Mian, I don't believe it. And Aiyang wouldn't leave me alone. He wouldn't abandon me. When we were in Bali, he swore in front of the temple that he would take care of me for the rest of my life. I don't believe he broke his promise. Jie, I didn't think this would happen. You should take a look at him first. Stay strong. Chunjie walked numbly to the emergency room. Every step she took was difficult. After Chunjie walked in, Huamin leaned into Qinshu's arms guiltily. Hubby, aren't we going overboard by doing this? Xiao Jie will hate us when she finds out the truth, right? I think we went too far. But since Ai Yang wanted to give her a surprise, let's do it. Mr. Qin was very calm. It's not a surprise, it's a shock. Huamin was acting, but he still felt bad. Chunjie's feelings were real. She couldn't bear to see him like that because she knew how much she loved Ai Yang. Daddy, Mommy, how was our acting? Little Bean stuck out her tongue. Qinshu gave her a thumbs up. Great. Is Big Sister's acting better or am I better? Not again. Qinshu was speechless. The only bad thing about having two daughters at home was that they had to compete with each other. The family of four waited at the door. When Chunjie walked in, Ai Yang was lying on the bed. The white sheet covered his entire body, including his face. This was what the hospital did to the deceased. Chunjie covered her mouth to stop herself from crying, but she couldn't suppress the sadness in her heart. She slowly walked over and sat down beside him. Liar, you big liar. You said you would take care of me for the rest of my life. How could you go back on your words? Then Chunjie began to sob quietly. Ai Yang lay on the bed, feeling very conflicted. Originally, he wanted to give Chunjie a surprise proposal as a prank. Now, seeing Chunjie's sadness with his own eyes made his heart ache. But to be honest, he hadn't heard her say goodbye to him in a long time. Chunjie wasn't good with sweet words. When they were in love, they didn't make promises of love. So, Ai Yang gritted his teeth and decided to hold on a little longer to see if he could hear any surprises from her. Sure enough, after crying for a while, Chunjie slowly said, I was born in an ordinary family. I wasn't pretty, my personality wasn't the best, and my grades weren't the best. So, I worked extra hard to get a fair chance like everyone else. The most satisfying thing in my life was to have a stable job. I didn't dare to ask for anything else. I even thought that when I got older, I would get married, have kids, and live like this for the rest of my life. Until I met you. You changed me. It was like God gave me a big surprise and made me feel like I was the happiest person in the world. I went from being anxious and confused to having the courage to be with you for 4 years. Sister Mian and brother-in-law took 4 years to separate, but we enjoyed 4 years of the sweetest time together. At that time, I thought I was such a lucky woman, but it turns out, everything was fake. It was like a dream. Now I'm awake. So, Ai Yang, don't be afraid. You said you wanted to be with me for the rest of your life, and only death can separate us. But now I have to tell you, No one in this world will know how much I love you. Even if it was just a dream, it's enough. Not even death can separate us. I'm going to find you. Then, Chun-Jie stood up and took out a pair of scissors from the tray. She aimed the scissors at her heart. Luckily, an Aiyang got up in time and grabbed her wrist. Jie, you're crazy. Chapter 22-21. You? How did you? Shinjie was dumbfounded. She didn't expect an Aiyang to come back to life when she was in despair. How miraculous. I'm not dead. I was lying. Who knew you'd be so stupid? You're not dead? Shinjie froze again as if she couldn't believe it. I'm not dead. I'm sorry. I colluded with everyone to lie to you. I just wanted to give you a surprise and listen to your heartfelt confession. I didn't think you'd... And Aiyang's heart ached when he thought about how Chun-Jie pointed the scissors at him. This silly girl didn't say anything. Even when they were in Bali and Tahiti, they slept on the same bed. Chun-Jie also rarely showed her feelings, which made Aiyang feel more and more insecure. That was why he did this on a whim. But look what happened in the end. She had heard his confession, but she had almost killed him. You lied to me? Chun-Jie was furious. Jie, I just wanted to listen to your heartfelt confession. Before an Aiyang could finish, Chun-Jie slapped him hard across the face. An Aiyang, you're too much. Even if you're a celebrity, you can't do this. Did you know that? I was so worried about you. How dare you lie to me? You used this prank to test my feelings. I'll never talk to you again. Chun-Jie got up and ran out the door in a huff. Shao-Jie, listen to me. An Aiyang was also anxious and hurriedly ran out after her. Jie, Huamin saw Chun-Jie run out in a huff and knew that they had found out. It was normal for a girl to react this way. After all, when she heard about it, she didn't agree with it at all. He knew that with Jie's personality, she would be furious. But this little bastard still insisted. Look at what happened now. Jie, listen to me. Slow down. Be careful. An Aiyang followed behind Chun-Jie. The two ran out one after the other. Little Bean, so Uncle and Aiyang is making a big fuss right now. Pudding, it's expected that Auntie Jie would be angry, but I think she's only angry for a short time. With Uncle and Aiyang's personality, he'll make her happy. It's just a matter of time. Little Bean, so let's guess how long it'll take this time? Pudding, let's bet. I think it'll take an hour. Little Bean, I don't think so. Auntie Jie must be very angry this time. I think it'll take at least one night. Pudding, if you lose, you can't eat ice cream and cake for a week. Little Bean, can we change the bet? Pudding, no. Little, what if you guess? Pudding, if I lose, I'll give you 10,000 yuan. You can buy whatever you want. Little Bean, really? As promise? Pudding, as you know? Little. In the end, Little Bean couldn't resist the temptation and made the bet with her sister. On the other side, Huamin leaned on Qin Chu's shoulder worriedly. Honey, do you think this little bastard's comedy will turn into a tragedy? Jie won't break up with him because of this, right? She won't break up with him, but she'll definitely be angry. Anyone in her position wouldn't be happy. It's just a proposal. Is there a need to go this far? Qin Chu thought that Aiyang went overboard this time. The twins and the Qin couple waited in the hospital to hear the final news. After all, this was a surprise that Aiyang asked Huamin and Qin Chu to help him plan for a long time. However, this surprise seemed to be overboard. Chun-Jie was furious. Chapter 22-22. At the entrance of the hospital, Chun-Jie angrily walked out with Aiyang right behind her. However, no matter what he said, Chun-Jie wouldn't listen. She didn't even give him a chance to speak. Aiyang began to regret his decision. He shouldn't have done that. Just then, a van sped over. Chun-Jie was walking with her head down in anger, so she didn't see it. At that moment, Aiyang ran over and hugged Chun-Jie. Jie, be careful. He hugged Chun-Jie tightly and fell towards the side of the road. Due to the speed, both of them lost their balance and fell to the side of the road. Aiyang's head hit the ground, and with a loud bang, he bled. Aiyang, Chun-Jie was scared out of her wits. Aiyang felt dizzy. Aiyang, don't scare me. Are you okay? Chun-Jie saw it with her own eyes, so she didn't care about what happened just now. Xiao Jia. Marry me. And Aiyang didn't care about the blood on his head as he reached into his pocket and took out a small box. Inside the box was a 3-carat diamond ring. Although it wasn't very big or shiny, the design was beautiful. Let's go. I'll help you to the hospital. Chen Jie used all her strength to help Aiyang up. Promise me or else. I won't get up. You? What time is it? You're going to die. Chen Jie was so anxious that she was about to cry. I don't care. If you don't promise me, you might as well die. And Aiyang gritted his teeth as he endured the pain in his head. I'm so scared of you. You think you can bully people just because you're a superstar? I promise you anything. Please come with me to the hospital. Chen Jie felt like she was about to lose to him. Hearing Chen Jie's agreement, and Aiyang didn't rush to the hospital. Instead, he opened the box and took out the ring. He put on Chen Jie's finger personally. Because he had secretly taken measurements before, the ring fit perfectly, and Aiyang picked up Chen Jie's hand and kissed it gently. Little Jie, I will give you happiness. I won't let you down. Believe me. Let's go to the hospital. Stop talking. Chen Jie was scared to death. She used all her strength to help Aiyang walk back. The medical staff at the entrance of the hospital rushed to help. 30 minutes later at the entrance of the emergency room. How is he? Chen Jie, Huamian, and the others crowded around the door and asked anxiously. The patient is fine. It's all superficial wounds and a slight concussion. He'll be fine as long as he gets proper rest. Everyone was relieved to hear what the doctor said. At this moment, the door of the emergency room opened, and Aiyang had already changed out of his hospital gown. She didn't know when he had changed into a handsome black suit. Huamian had already arranged for all the public speakers in South Side to play the beat, and Aiyang held a black microphone in his hand and walked out step by step. Then she sang to Chen Jie. I've always wanted to tell you that you give me unimaginable happiness, like an oasis to a desert. Say that you'll love me forever, be my root, my wings, let me fly, and have a nest to return to. I'll do it. I can do it. I won't regret giving up everything. Just be together, watch time pass. Remember the way we love each other. Just love you, sadness and joy. With you, the dullness has meaning. Just love you, sweet and warm, that's you. It was an old song, Just Love You by Tao Zhe. It was Aiyang's favorite song since many years ago. It was also Chen Jie's favorite love song. Chapter 22-23. Chen Jie remembered that when they first got together, she jokingly asked Aiyang to sing it for her on her birthday. However, Aiyang was jealous and didn't sing it. Instead, he sang Happy Birthday for Chen Jie. Chen Jie didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Later, she thought that Aiyang had forgotten about it. Who would have thought that after a few years, she would be able to hear Aiyang sing this extremely affectionate song? In fact, Chen Jie liked this song not only because of the soothing melody, but also because of the lyrics. It was sweet and warm. Perhaps everyone, regardless of whether they were men or women, hoped that one day they could meet someone they truly loved and then live a simple and plain life together. This wish was actually very simple, but it was something that many people couldn't realize. Aiyang's voice was naturally good. Plus, he loved Chen Jie deeply, so when he sang, his eyes were filled with indescribable love. Chen Jie couldn't take it anymore. Tears welled up in her eyes. She covered her mouth with both hands to stop herself from crying. At some point, the emergency room was surrounded by colleagues from Southside. Huamin, Qin Shu, and the twins were also there. They quietly watched as the audience witnessed their happiness. When the song ended, Aiyang got down on one knee. Miss Chen Jie, will you marry Mr. Aiyang and be his wife, no matter if you're poor, sick, old, or sick? Will you be with him for the rest of your life? Isn't that the question Godfather always asks? Chen Jie sobbed. She was obviously very emotional. She didn't think that there would be so many surprises. I have to ask you myself so that I can rest assured. You have to answer carefully. There are so many people watching. You can't go back on your words. Aiyang looked at her with a smile. Chun-jie was sobbing so hard that she couldn't speak. All she could do was cover her mouth and cry. Little Bean, wow, I'm so touched. Uncle N.I. Yang is so romantic. Pudding, Uncle Jishin, if you're like this, you would have gotten Annie Bella a long time ago. Why do you have to go through so much trouble? Little Bean, don't blame him. Everyone is different. Uncle Jishin is the outwardly passionate type, while Uncle N.I. Yang is outwardly passionate and black-bellied. Ha! Pudding, if I were Annie Jia, I would cry like a dog too. I'm so touched. The twins were touched, and Huamin kept wiping away his tears. Qin Chu kept his arm around her shoulders. Mr. Qin, when are you going to propose to me again? Oh yeah, speaking of which, we haven't had a wedding yet. What a waste. Huamin began to act coquettishly. So, Mrs. Qin, are you complaining about me? Qin Chu lifted her chin and asked with a smile. What? Shouldn't you complain? Huamin raised his chin provocatively. Probably. So, when are you going to marry me? Huamin pouted cutely. We've always been legally married. We haven't gotten a divorce yet. I remember telling a certain someone. Qin Chu smiled. But we haven't had a wedding yet. She thought back to 4 years ago. If it wasn't for Hua Xiqian ruining their wedding, they would have had a grand wedding. So, honey, you really want it? Qin Chu looked at Huamin and asked slowly. Not really. Haha, I was just joking. The kids are already so big. Why would we have a wedding? Honey, I was just teasing you. Haha, don't take it to heart. Huamin smiled as if she didn't want Qin Chu to know what she was thinking. She knew that she was being too pretentious. The twins were already 3 years old. There was no point in having a wedding. But did every woman have a teenage dream? So at that moment, Huamin was conflicted. Chapter 22-24. Qin Chu looked at Huamian with a complicated expression on his face. Then, he turned her shoulders around. He was about to say something when N.I. Yang got up from the ground and walked over to Huamian in front of all the colleagues at Southside. He kissed Chen Jie hard on the lips. This was the first time they had done something so bold in public, and everyone started cheering. Chen Jie blushed and tried to push N.I. Yang away, but N.I. Yang kissed her even harder. Wow, it's such a big scene. It's not suitable for children. Little Bean said as she covered her eyes with her chubby little hands. She left a big gap between her fingers so she could peek at them. Don't pretend. It's not a big scene in your eyes, okay? Pudding glanced at Little Bean calmly. Little Bean immediately pushed her sister and warned her, please keep your voice down. Don't let Dr. Hua hear you, or he'll kill me. After the passionate kiss, N.I. Yang put his arm around Chun Jie's shoulder and announced domineeringly, Everyone, thank you for helping me complete the proposal that I've been planning for a long time. After the new year, on the 8th day of the first lunar month, Jie and I will hold our wedding at the Mian Hotel on Yunding Mountain. We sincerely invite everyone to our wedding. The 8th day of the first lunar month? So soon? Chun Jie was shocked. Don't worry, leave it to me. And Ai Yang comforted her gently. This PDA, it's so cruel. Pudding sighed proudly. Pudding, Little Bean, and Ai Yang called out. We're here, Uncle and Ai Yang. The twins answered in unison. Is there a problem with being Uncle's flower girl? And Ai Yang looked at the twins with a smile. No problem, Sister Mian, brother-in-law. Thank you for helping me. And Ai Yang thanked Qin Chu and Huamian sincerely. We're family. Don't be so formal. I'm so happy to see you two finally come to fruition. Huamin choked up. Speaking of which, Sister Mian, you're our matchmaker. And Ai Yang smiled happily. After the unusual proposal was announced, Mr. Qin asked calmly, So, can we go home for dinner now? Haha, brother-in-law, we want to eat at your place too. And Ai Yang pulled Chun Jie's hand. Let's go. We can discuss the details of the wedding. Qin Chu was also very easy to talk to. Just like that, they returned to South Hill Manor. 10 o'clock that night. The video of N.I. Yang singing and proposing in the hospital went viral on WeChat. N.I. Yang had no reason to hide it. He wanted to be high profile, so the news spread all over the country in an instant. N.I. Yang posted a photo of him and Chun Jie with their hands crossed. He wrote, From now on, the two of us will be fine. The fans below were crazily commenting. In just 1 hour, the number of reposts was as high as 500,000 and the number of likes was over a million. The number of comments below exceeded 200,000 in 1 hour. It was terrifying. All the headlines were about N.I. Yang's successful proposal, and the wedding was suspected to be held on the 8th of January at GK's Mian Hotel. Because of the foreshadowing, most of the fans gave them their blessings. Congratulations, my idol. I hope you'll be happy from now on. That's all. Honey, when I fell in love with you, you had just debuted, and I was just in high school. Now you're getting married, and I've graduated from college and am working with my boyfriend. I hope we can be like you and have a happy relationship. Congratulations, you'll have a baby soon. He'll be as handsome as you, hee. And Young Appa, you're getting married. What about me? I'm so sad, but I still wish you the best. Chapter 22-25. Kind people will be rewarded. A bitch like Ingzi will never have a good ending. Your little girlfriend is pretty. Although she's not in the industry, I think she suits you. She's low-key and reliable. That night, Suyu, who hadn't been on Weibo for a long time, reposted N.I. Yang's post. He generously said, I heard President Qin is paying for the wedding. What should I give him? Such a funny post immediately attracted the attention of netizens. They all left comments below to join in on the fun. President Su, give me your black Lamborghini sixth element. Are you willing to part with it? President Su, I suggest you give N.I. Yang a wife. That way, N.I. Yang Appa will have many wives. He'll be very happy. President Su, you can give him a mansion and a sports car. After all, you're that famous. I heard that N.I. Yang is Dr. Hua's brother. Are you trying to please your brother-in-law by liking Dr. Hua? Idiot, watch your words. Dr. Hua is Mr. Qin's wife. Don't spread rumors. President Su, when will you announce the good news? If you don't get married soon, you'll be a bachelor for 10,000 years. My heart aches for you. President Su, why don't you marry me? I can wash clothes, cook, and warm your bed. Haha. Then, Qin Chu, Huamin, Jiang Xiaowei, and Wei Liao all reposted the post. N.I. Yang's marriage became a hot topic. It was almost Chinese New Year, so the atmosphere was very good. After Tang Chuan came back, he kept a low profile. Huamin didn't know that he was back. So, when Xi Ning called her and asked about Tang Chuan, she was quite surprised. Since she was on vacation, Huamin drove out to buy snacks for the twins. Xi Ning's call came at this time. Sister-in-law, Ning Ning. Sister-in-law, are you busy? I'm not busy. I'm on vacation and haven't been to South Side yet. I plan to go back after the new year, Huamin said as he pushed the shopping cart around the supermarket. Oh, I see what's wrong. Ning Ning, are you looking for me? Sis-in-law, have you seen Tang Chuan recently? Qi Ning asked tentatively. Tang Chuan? Didn't he go to America with you? Huamin was really not well informed, but it was not her fault. After Tang Chuan came back, only Wei Liao and Suyu knew about it. Huamin did not meet Suyu much, so she naturally did not ask too much. He went back a long time ago, really? I don't know. I've never seen him before. Oh, I see. Qi Ning seemed a little disappointed. Ning Ning, what's wrong with you two? Did they quarrel? Why did he come back all of a sudden? Didn't he contact you? Huamin asked a series of questions. Qi Ning thought for a moment before slowly replying. Something happened between us, but it's not what you think. Anyways, we haven't contacted each other in a long time. To be honest, I'm quite worried about him. After thinking about it, I think I said some hurtful things before he left. I think he hates me. That's not right. Young Master Tang isn't someone who holds grudges. Huamin comforted. Qi Ning didn't say anything. Ning Ning, if you have anything to say, you can tell me. I'm a woman too. Maybe I can give you some advice or something. Huamin could vaguely sense that Qi Ning was not in a good mood. Chapter 22-26. Sis-in-law, I'm going back with my uncle to celebrate Chinese New Year in a few days. Really? That's great. Where's your uncle? Huamin asked. My dad is going to the South Pole with a few of his old friends. He's getting more and more ridiculous at his age. He's playing extreme sports like a young man. I tried to talk him out of it, but he wouldn't listen. I can't do anything about it. When are you guys coming home? I booked a flight in 3 days. So soon? That's great. Pudding and Little Bean will be so happy to know that you and your grandparents are coming home. Huamin smiled happily. Actually, I'm a bit conflicted, sis-in-law. I'm scared that I'll run into Tang Chuan when I go back for Chinese New Year. Then we'll be entangled again. But I want to see him and see if he's doing well. I'm so conflicted. Qi Ning had never been in a relationship, so she didn't know what she was thinking. Huamin chuckled upon hearing this. Ning, how about you come back first? We'll talk about it when you come back. I'll talk to you in person, okay? Huamin looked at Qi Ning as if he knew what she was thinking. However, Qi Ning didn't want to because in her heart, sis-in-law was a godlike woman. Okay, it's settled then. Sis-in-law, let's talk when I get back. I've been so annoyed lately. MH, I'm at the supermarket. Tell me if you want to eat anything. I'll buy it for you. Huamin really wanted his home to be lively with his in-laws and Qi Ning. With Ji Xin and his mother at home, there were 9 people in total. On his way back from the supermarket, Huamin happened to pass by GK headquarters. Therefore, he parked his car downstairs on a whim. Then, he went to Qin Shu's office. President Hua. Assistant Yang immediately greeted Huamin when he saw him at the door. Is my husband here? Amicham, President Qin is here, but what? Huamin noticed that Assistant Yang was hesitant to speak, so he asked jokingly, Is there a mistress? A vixen? No, President Hua. Our President Qin is not that kind of person. Please don't tarnish his reputation. Assistant Yang was speechless. Who is that? It's so mysterious. Huamin felt that not many people could enter Qin Shu's office, so he was really curious. Without waiting for Yang's reply, Huamin pushed open the door and walked in. Qin Shu was writing on the sofa, and there was someone sitting beside him. Huamin was a little dumbfounded when he saw that person. It was too sudden. Honey, why are you here? Qin Shu saw Huamin and immediately smiled gently. I went to the supermarket to buy New Year's goods, and I was passing by, so I came to see you. Hi, Huamin. Rick, who was wearing a black leather jacket, calmly greeted Huamin with a pair of deep eyes. Rick, why did you suddenly come back? The last time they went to New Orleans, Huamin asked Rick about it. At the time, Rick said that he had no plans to come back to China, so he saw Rick talking and laughing in Qin Shu's office. Huamin was really shocked. MHM, I came back to China for some business. Rick was still a man of few words, as if he would lose out if he said another word. So, does it have something to do with Cece? Huamin couldn't wait to ask. She had always subconsciously thought that Rick and Cece were deeply in love with each other, so there was a chance. Chapter 22-27. No. Qin Shu immediately rejected her. Oh, Rick, why don't you come over for dinner tonight? My daughters will be happy to see you. It was rare for Qin Shu to see Rick, so he sincerely invited him over for dinner and let his daughters see Uncle Rick. I can't tonight. I still have some unfinished business. How about one of these days? I'll go over when I'm free. Okay, call me when you're here. Rick nodded and got up to say goodbye to Huamin and Qin Shu. After Rick left, Huamin sat down beside Qin Shu and whispered, Honey, do you think Rick's sudden return really has nothing to do with Cece? Honey, why are you still thinking about them? It's been so long. Qin Shu looked at Huamin, amused. It's not that I'm thinking about them. I just feel like... how do I put it? I feel like Rick and Cece's fate hasn't ended yet. Huamin didn't know why she felt this way, but she really wanted them to be together again. So you think you're a fortune teller under a bridge? You even want to set their fates? Qin Shu patted Huamin's head lovingly. Huamin immediately felt embarrassed. She covered her face with both hands and fell into Qin Shu's arms. It's almost New Year. Everyone's coming back. I suddenly feel like a lot of things are going to happen. Huamin sighed as she lay on Qin Shu's lap. For example, Qin Shu looked at her curiously. For example, Ning Ning's coming back, and there seems to be a lot going on between her and Tang Chuan. Although she didn't say it clearly, I think my guess is right. Then Rick's coming back. Although he doesn't admit that it's related to Cece, I don't believe that he won't go and see Cece. What do you think? Huamin blabbered on. Qin Shu rubbed her delicate face. Okay, we don't have to worry about it, whether it's a story or a legend. It's all up to fate, up to them, okay? That night, in front of a residential area in Sea City, Cece went out to buy some beer and fried chicken, planning to eat with her sister. She vaguely felt like someone was following her, but when she turned around, she didn't see anyone. That's weird. I feel like someone's following me, but why is there no one? It was late at night, and Cece was scared by herself. She quickly ran to the door of the unit and went upstairs. Not far from her, Cece's was behind a big Cece's. He waited for almost 3 hours before Cece came downstairs. He was really lucky. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to find her after one night. They hadn't seen each other for more than 3 years, but she was still the same. She looked almost the same as she did in the video the other day. However, that day, Cece was drunk and her cheeks were red from the alcohol. Today, Cece looked very sunny. She was wearing a white down jacket and a cute little red hat. She was jumping around with all kinds of snacks in her hands. She was still so cute and innocent. Rick's heart raced when he saw her. He even had the urge to go up and say hi to her, but in the end, he controlled himself. Godfather, we should go. The other party's people are here, one of his subordinates cautiously reminded him. Okay, Rick replied in a muffled voice. Then, he turned around and got into a black Mercedes-Benz 450. After Cece got home, she told her sister about what happened. Sis, let me tell you something. It's really weird. It's really weird. Don't be scared, Cece said mysteriously. Chapter 22-28. What is it? Hearing Cece's words, Xian was also curious. I went out to buy something, and I think I was followed. Followed? No way. You're not a celebrity, and we're not rich. Xian thought it was unbelievable. I'm confused too, but I had this feeling when I came back. You know, women's sixth sense is usually very accurate. I suddenly turned around and wanted to catch that person, but I didn't see anything. So, Xian smiled at her sister as she ate her chips. So, sis, do you think that thing is here? What thing? Xian froze. A ghost. Cece pretended to stick out her tongue. Go away. There's no such thing as a ghost. Don't scare yourself. You're already in your 20s. Don't act like a kid. I'm just joking with you. But sis, you've been glowing lately. Did something good happen? Cece said as she sat next to her sister and hugged her shoulder. No. Xian seemed a little guilty. Impossible, don't lie to me. You've never been able to hide anything from me since we were kids. If you don't tell me, then I'll have to guess. Is there someone you like? No, Xian said as her face turned red. Io, you're blushing. Cece laughed. Kneeling C, don't cause trouble, okay? Xian was a little angry. Sis, don't tell me. You like your boss? Cece glanced at her sister's phone. She saw that her sister was on Weibo, but she was looking at Su Yu's Weibo. She paid so much attention to Su Yu because he was the president of the company. What are you talking about? Who is President Su? Why would he like me? I just think that President Su has arranged a few big movies for me recently, and I'm very grateful. That's good, sis. You can't like Su Yu. You can like anyone but him, okay? Cece warned. Why? Xian looked at her younger sister with a guilty conscience. Su Yu has someone he likes, and he likes her a lot. Cece had heard about Su Yu and Huamin a long time ago. I know. Isn't she GK's Lady Qin? But Lady Qin already has a husband. It's been so long. I'm sure President Su has gotten over her, right? Xian sighed. That's where you're wrong. Just look at what happened to Jiantong, and you'll know. She didn't know her place and always played dirty tricks. So now she's hurting herself and others. Sis, I don't ask you to be rich, but don't mess with the big shots, okay? The two of us are just ordinary people. Even if you really become an A-list celebrity in the future, I don't want you to marry into a rich family. I just want you to find a man who loves you and live a stable life. Although Cece was his younger sister, after experiencing what happened with Rick, she felt that being ordinary was the best. Little girl, why are you lecturing me? Xian laughed. Sis, I'm serious. I'm not joking with you. Don't like Suyu, please don't. Oh, okay. When Xian said this, it was obvious that she didn't have much confidence. Although she knew that she shouldn't like Suyu and that Cece was right, it wasn't easy to control a person's feelings. After chatting with her sister for a while, Cece went back to her room. Just then, she saw a WeChat message from Huamin. Huamin, Cece, are you there? Chapter 22-29. Cece, I'm here, Sister Mian. Huamin, you're still awake? Cece, yeah. I was just chatting with my sister. Sister Mian, what's up? Cece thought Huamin was talking to her on WeChat, so seriously because he wanted to talk to her about something. Huamin, Cece, I have something to tell you. Cece, okay, go ahead. I'm listening. You're so serious that I'm getting nervous. Huamin, don't be nervous. It's not something to be scared of. It might be a good thing for you. I've been thinking about it for a while, but I still decided to tell you. Cece, Sister Mian, just tell me. I'm dying of anxiety. Cece was an impatient person and couldn't keep things to herself. Hearing Huamin's hesitation, she wanted to fly to him immediately. Huamin, Cece, Rick is back. Bang. Cece panicked. She stood up abruptly and broke the teacup on the bedside table. What? Cece asked again, unsure. Rick's back, Cece. This time, Huamian used a voice message to speak more clearly. When? Cece asked. I saw him this afternoon. He was in my husband's office. Is he okay? Cece felt like she was going to speak incoherently. Her heart was racing. Rick came back so suddenly that she wasn't prepared for it all. But to Cece, it was indeed a surprise. He's fine. Actually, didn't I tell you last time? I saw him in New Orleans. Rick's always been very good. It's just that he's still so quiet and doesn't talk as much as before. Oh, Cece seemed to have a lot on her mind. Did he go to see you? Huamin asked tentatively. No, Cece answered, a little disappointed. Oh, I have a feeling that since he's back, he might go and see you. Huamin comforted Cece. No way. He hasn't looked for me in 3 years. He won't look for me again. Maybe he came back for something else? After Cece calmed down, she began to let her imagination run wild. Sister Mian, I beg you for something. Go ahead, Cece. If you see Rick, can you tell him something for me? Cece asked slowly. What words? Tell her. I'm fine. I don't hate him anymore. I also hope that he'll be fine, even if we don't have the chance to meet again in the future, and we'll be far apart from each other. I also hope that he'll be happy on the other side of the earth, in some corner. Okay, I will. After sending Cece a WeChat message, Huamin's heart was heavy. Chu came in with 2 glasses of red wine. Would you like a drink? Chu handed him a cup. Huamin took it and took a small sip. Honey, did Rick say when he's coming over for dinner? It hasn't been decided yet. What do you want? Chu could tell that his wife had something on her mind. I want to ask Cece to come over. Honey, do you really think it's a good idea to be so stubborn? You don't know how much Cece wants to see him. My heart aches when I see her like this. But honey, you have to know that if they meet and nothing changes, Cece will be even sadder. Rick won't feel any better either. Although he's the head of the family now, sometimes the higher the position, the harder it is for him to control himself. Chu didn't agree with Hua Min's idea of bringing Cece and Rick together. I don't care, I just want to give them one last chance to see each other. It has nothing to do with getting back together. I just want Cece to see Rick one more time. My heart aches for her. For the first time, Huamin let his emotions get the better of him. Chu held the red wine in his hand and didn't say anything. Honey, is that okay? One last time, Huamin saw that her husband didn't say anything, so she began to whine. Chapter 22-30. Okay. Although Chu didn't agree with his wife, he was eventually convinced. Huamin happily made a peace sign with his hands and kissed Chu on the cheek. Time passed quickly. Before Rick came for dinner, Ning and Chu's parents came home. The twins were so happy that they were jumping around in the house. After dinner, the twins played with their grandparents in the living room. Qin Shu went upstairs to unpack with a heavy heart. Hua Min went to see her. Ning Ning, sis-in-law. Qin Ning turned around. Something on your mind? Oh, I'm just tired from the long flight. Okay, then take a good rest. Tell me what you want to eat. Your brother prepared a car for you. It's parked outside. If you want to go out, just drive. The gas tank is full. Okay. Thank you, big brother. Thank you, sis-in-law. We're family. Don't be so polite. Hua Min patted Qin Ning's shoulder and turned to leave. The truth was, Hua Min wanted to ask her about her progress with Tang Chuan. But seeing Qin Ning's tired face, he didn't ask. After Hua Min left, Qin Ning unpacked her luggage. She was as low-key as ever. She didn't even post that she was back for Chinese New Year. She was as calm as usual. Suddenly, she thought of something in video called Suyu. Suyu, Wei Liao, and Tang Chuan were drinking tea at a tea house. Little Bean, Suyu smiled gently. Handsome Su, what are you doing? I'm drinking tea. Drinking tea? With whom? Men or women? Tall or short? Fat or thin? Little Bean gossiped. Before Suyu could say anything, Tang Chuan interrupted with a smile. Little Bean, you're so gossipy. Are you going to be a paparazzi when you grow up? Oh, Uncle Tang is here. Little Bean nodded like a little adult. And your Uncle Wei, Suyu added with a smile. And your future father-in-law. Ha! Tang Chuan suddenly thought of the story about the Qin family and Wei Liao's engagement. Wei Liao was speechless. Uncle Tang, are you old? Do you have dementia? Did he remember wrongly? Uncle Wei Liao is my sister's future father-in-law, not me. My future father-in-law is Uncle Gao, Little Bean corrected. Tang Chuan, Wei Liao, and Suyu were so happy that they rocked back and forth. Kids nowadays are really very smart. Tang Chuan sighed. Handsome Su, why haven't you come to our house these days? Didn't you hear that your grandparents are back? Suyu asked as he sipped his tea. Little Bean smiled mysteriously. Yeah, my grandparents are back from Hawaii, and so is my auntie. Ahem. Tang Chuan immediately coughed when he heard the word auntie. He didn't expect Qin Ning to be back so soon, and his heart raced. Then, before Suyu could say anything, he snatched the phone from him. Little Bean, your auntie is back? Why should I tell you? Are you close to her? Little Bean asked on purpose. Little Bean, tell me. I'll treat you to Haagen-Dazs, okay? Tang Chuan coaxed. Little Bean raised her chin. Do I look like someone who can't eat? You are. Little Bean, let's go upstairs. Annie brought us gifts. Do you want them? Pudding's voice sounded not far behind them. Yes, yes, yes. Little Bean immediately turned around and went upstairs. Then, she said goodbye to Suyu. Handsome Su, I'll talk to you later. We're going to visit our great-grandpa in a couple of days. Remember to pick us up? Okay, no problem. Suyu smiled and hung up the video call. Tang Chuan, however, was no longer in the mood to drink tea. He stood up with a whoosh. What? What's wrong? Wei Liao looked at Tang Chuan and smiled. Qin Ning is back. How come I didn't know about such big news? Tang Chuan sounded wrong. Chapter 2231. That's because you're not well informed. Wei Liao purposely provoked him. You knew, and so did Lord Su, but you two didn't tell me. Are you still my brother? Tang Chuan was full of resentment. He pointed at Wei Liao and Suyu and complained. But you didn't ask us. Suyu shamelessly responded. Damn. Lord Su, you're so mean. I'm not going to talk to you guys anymore. I have to go see her. After speaking, Tang Chuan hurriedly walked out. Suyu added, Master Tang, don't rush. Pay for us first. Fuck off. I don't have any money, Tang Chuan angrily replied. Tang Chuan went out and got into his red Ferrari. He impulsively drove to South Hill Manor. However, when he arrived, he realized that he had come so recklessly. What identity should he use to see her? If they were friends, they weren't that close. What about lovers? Qin Ning didn't even know how she felt about him. So, his dilemma came back. Tang Chuan's car stopped at the door for a long time. He was conflicted for a long time. In the end, he drove away without entering the house. After dinner, Qi Ning played on the treadmill in the gym for a while. She was sweating profusely. After taking a shower, she realized that she had a WeChat message on her phone. She opened it and saw that it was from Tang Chuan. "I heard that you're back." Tang Chuan sent her a text message instead of a voice message. Qi Ning immediately replied. However, in the end, she gradually deleted the typed words, and only one word was left. "Yeah, it's very cold here. You might not be used to the temperature. Remember to wear more clothes," Tang Chuan reminded her. Seeing this, Qi Ning's heart warmed. "Thank you." However, her distant thank you made Tang Chuan speechless. So, their conversation ended there. When Qi Ning realized this, she felt quite regretful. She didn't know why she was so pretentious. "Would it kill you to say a few more words?" Qi Ning muttered to herself. "Auntie, who are you talking to?" Pudding opened the door and entered. "No, I didn't." Qi Ning immediately felt guilty. "Auntie, you seem to be unsettled after coming back this time. Did something happen?" Pudding noticed that Qi Ning was always absent-minded during dinner. You're overthinking it, Pudding." "I didn't. Don't brush me off. I'm not a kid," Pudding said confidently. Qi Ning, if I'm not mistaken, she's probably worried about Uncle Tang. Pudding guessed. "How did you know?" Qi Ning immediately felt guilty when her secret was exposed. "Previously, he followed you to America and stayed there for so long. Then he suddenly came back. Every time you video called us, you didn't seem to be in a good mood. I guess that something might have happened between you two. There's no unhappiness. Actually, did Tang Chuan bully you? If that's the case, tell me. I'll avenge you," Pudding asked. Qi Ning hugged Pudding lovingly and kissed her on the cheek. She smiled and said, "No, he didn't bully me. It's my own problem. I can't see my own heart clearly. Maybe I hurt him unintentionally. That's all. Men are meant to hurt. It's not that easy to get a girl. Don't blame yourself, Auntie." Pudding's aura was much stronger. Her words were also very domineering. Qi Ning laughed out loud. "Okay, Pudding, I'll remember what you said, so... Auntie, you've actually fallen for Uncle Tang, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't have suddenly decided to come back to China. After all, you weren't used to the atmosphere back home." Pudding probed. Although Pudding was a kid, she spoke like an adult, so Qi Ning's heart sank. Chapter 2232. Pudding, don't deny it, Auntie. To be honest, I'm not an outsider. Pudding was forcing her auntie into a corner. Pudding, to be honest, I don't know what I'm thinking. Pudding, you know that I don't have any experience in love, so I don't know what it's like to like someone. Maybe I was interested in Suyu before, but I don't know if it's because you've been telling me how great Suyu is. The truth is, he's a great guy, but he's not interested in me. When it comes to love, I'm not so shameless as to fall in love with someone I don't like. Later, I realized that Tang Chuan did all the shameless things that I didn't want to do. He insisted on going back to the States with me for so long. I don't even know if I got used to him or if I fell in love with him, so I'm very conflicted. So you came back this time to confirm it, right? To confirm your feelings? I don't know. Maybe I just want to see him. Qi Ning's mind was in a mess. Auntie, you're in trouble. You're touched by Tang Chuan. You've fallen in love with him. Pudding saw how conflicted her auntie was. Really? Qi Ning didn't seem to know. How about this? I'll confirm it for you later. Don't think too much about it. You'll help me? It's really not necessary, Pudding. Auntie, I know what's important. Don't worry. Pudding patted her auntie's shoulder. Qi Ning didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Qin Shu's parents weren't in good health, especially his father. After his surgery, his immune system was very low. Although it was Chinese New Year, the temperature in the north was the lowest in history. Qin Shu ordered the bodyguards to drive his parents, the twins, and Qi Ning to Yunding Mountain. He even planned to spend Chinese New Year there. Therefore, before Pudding could confirm it for her auntie, they had already left the downtown area of Sea City. Yang Meiyerong and Ji Xin followed them. Only Qi Ning and Huo Mian were left at South Hill Manor. Qin Shu was still busy with work. After Huo Min prepared the New Year goods, he planned to give all the servants at home a holiday. Even Uncle Li would return to his hometown. Huamin was sitting in the living room. Several servants were lined up in a row. She put the red packet she had prepared on the coffee table. These are red packets for everyone. Your names are on them, and the amount is the same. As for Uncle Li, because he's old and has to worry about us every day, he'll get a little more than you guys. A young lady, you don't have to. You've been so nice to us. You even give us bonuses during the holidays. Uncle Li looked at Huamin with gratitude. After I gave birth to the baby, I had a lot of responsibilities. Everyone has been working hard. It's been a year. Let's go home and have a good new year. Don't stand on ceremony with me. Come and get it yourselves. There's also your tickets and plane tickets inside. Huamin was very thoughtful and treated the servants well. Everyone was touched and wanted to take their red packets, feeling very satisfied. Just like that, 2 days before the new year, the servants left one after another. Huamin took on the responsibility of cooking for himself and Qin Chu. However, since he didn't cook, he thought it was very interesting. The ingredients he bought from the supermarket were all put to good use. Qin Chu didn't come home until 7 p.m. that night. His car was parked outside the door. Huamin only made 4 home-cooked dishes because he was afraid that the two of them wouldn't be able to finish it. To his surprise, Qin Chu walked in with Rick behind him. Huamin was surprised by Rick's low-key entrance. Chapter 22:33. Huamin thought that since Rick hadn't heard from him in the past few days, he had already returned to China. Maybe, why didn't you tell me that Rick was here? Honey, I didn't prepare anything. Huamin thought it was too sudden. Just eat whatever you have at home. Rick's in a bit of a rush. He'll leave in 2 hours on a helicopter. 2 hours? Why the rush? Huamin was surprised. Rick nodded. He took off his black coat and sat at the dining table quietly. The corners of Rick's mouth curled up as he looked at the 4 meat and vegetable dishes. Huamin, did you make all of this? He looked at Huamin and smiled. Yeah, you don't believe me? Huamin joked. No, I believe you. Qin Chu told me that you're a good cook. It looks like I'm in luck today. Rick was very casual when he came to their house. He didn't feel awkward at all. Huamin, on the other hand, was surprised by Rick's sudden arrival. It's too bad that the twins aren't home. Yeah, so you didn't have to give them a New Year's gift. Qin Chu joked. You make it sound like I'm short of money. Huamin looked at Rick and thought, really, you guys sit down first. I'll go get some soup. Huamin rushed into the kitchen. It's okay, Huamin. You don't have to do anything. I'm not in a hurry. It'll be quick. Wait for me. Huamin rushed into the kitchen. Huamin didn't want to add soup. He wanted to tell Cece something. Huamin picked up her phone and was about to dial when a pair of hands stopped her from behind. She jumped in fright and turned her head. You scared me. Huamin sighed in relief when she saw Qin Chu. She thought that Rick found out. You want to call Cece? Qin Chu asked with a complicated expression. Didn't you promise me that day? This is the last time. I'll help them. When we first arrived, Rick begged us not to create an opportunity for them to meet. I don't want to break my promise to my friend. Why would he say that? Huamin was stunned. I don't know. Anyway, I think Rick has his difficulties. If he doesn't want to see us, then forget it. Although I promised you, if Rick finds out that we did this, he might not be happy. After all, fate can't be forced. Qin Chu tried to persuade Huamin. But Cece, Huamin still felt sorry for the girl. She couldn't let go of him and wouldn't even give him a chance to see Rick one last time. Honey, everyone has their own destiny. Some people are deeply in love, but fate doesn't bring them together. Let's not make things difficult for Rick. Even if they meet, it might not change anything. Maybe Cece will be even sadder. Why don't we just forget about each other? What do you think? Qin Chu knew that Huamin was an understanding person. Some people just needed to be clear and didn't need to be so deep. Obviously, Huamin understood. She hesitated for a while, then nodded and put down the phone. Understand, honey. I'll make some soup. Let's eat. Okay. Qin Chu nodded. Huamin was very fast. He made seaweed and egg soup. Because it was the spring festival holiday, all the maids had left the house. Huamin did everything himself. The 3 of them sat across from each other, enjoying the long-lost peace. During dinner, Huamin chatted with them and asked, Rick, you rarely eat Chinese food over there, right? Chapter 2234. It's okay. They have it in Chinatown, and I eat it sometimes, but it's not as authentic as here. How's my wife's cooking? Mr. Chin asked proudly. She's not bad. Rick nodded. Are you going back to the States today? Huamin asked casually. No, I'll take a helicopter to H City and then take a private plane to Thailand. Why don't you leave from here? It takes longer to fly from H City to Thailand than C City, Huamin asked curiously. I'm taking care of some things over there, Rick said casually. It was obvious that he didn't like talking about himself. Huamin had a rough idea of the Rick family's business scope. Although Qin Chu didn't explain it in detail, she was smart enough not to miss it. Just then, Qin Chu's phone rang. It was a video call. Daddy, what are you doing? Pudding asked. Eating. Did you and Mommy just eat? Were you eating? Your mommy made it herself. Qin Chu smiled and looked at his daughter gently. Io, Daddy, you're so lucky. As soon as we left, Mommy personally started cooking and serving you. Pudding, are you and your sister okay over there? Are you cold? Huamin leaned her head against Qin Chu. No, the hotel is very comfortable. How about Grandpa and Grandma? How are they? Huamin asked. They're all good. Annie loves that outdoor hot spring. It's so beautiful. Pudding mumbled. I'm glad you like it. Then you guys stay here for now. Your daddy and I will drive over tomorrow night. Be good? Okay, we will. Don't worry, Mommy. Pudding speaks very clearly and logically, Rick commented slowly from the side. Pudding, who was about to hang up the phone, overheard Huamian's words. Who's talking? She didn't hear her dad's voice. Uncle Rick is at our house, Qin Chu said calmly. What? Why didn't you tell me that Uncle Rick was here? Pudding raised her voice. Little Bean immediately ran over. Daddy, I want to see Uncle Rick. Can you give me a shot? Qin Chu had no choice but to aim the camera at Rick. The twins jostled to greet Rick, and it was a mess. Hello, Uncle Rick. Uncle Rick, you're becoming more and more handsome. Thank you, Little Bean, Rick smiled. How do you know I'm Little Bean? Little Bean was very surprised. She looked exactly the same as her sister, wore exactly the same clothes, and even had similar voices. How could she recognize her at a glance? Because your face is rounder than Pudding's. Little Bean, Pudding, haha. Uncle Rick, you're so wise. Uncle Rick, why didn't you tell us you were coming? We could have waited for you at home, Little Bean said. I came here because something came up. I'm in a rush. Next time, I'll definitely come and visit you guys. All right, it's a deal. The twins only video chatted with Qin Chu and Huamin for 3 minutes, but they chatted with Rick for 5 or 6 minutes. Mr. Qin almost got jealous again. After hanging up, Pudding fell into deep thought, as if she was thinking about something very important. Sis, what are you thinking about? Little Bean asked curiously as she followed behind, Pudding with an orange in her hand. I'm thinking about Uncle Rick. Huh? What's up with Uncle Rick? Little Bean was confused. Chapter 2235. You wouldn't understand even if I told you. Forget it. Pudding didn't say anything else and continued to play games on her tablet in the hotel suite. Over at South Hill Manor, the meal was almost over. Rick looked at the time. It was just right. He got up and said goodbye. It's about time. I'm leaving now. Okay. Next time you come here, stay longer. Call me if you need anything. Qin Chu was Rick's best friend. He remembered that Rick's family had helped him a lot in the past. Okay, I'll call you. Rick nodded and said goodbye, then walked out. Qin Chu and Huamin walked him out. Just then, a car engine roared. A white Audi A4 stopped in front of South Hill Manor. When Cece got out of the car, all 3 of them were shocked, especially Rick, who didn't expect to see Cece here. Qin Chu looked sideways at Huamin. Before he could say anything, Huamin immediately explained, It wasn't me. I didn't tell Cece. Rick and Qin Chu both knew that Huamin never lied. If it wasn't Huamin, then there was a problem. Who on earth had told Cece? She couldn't have known that Rick was having dinner here. Also, Cece was wearing light pink pajamas with a Hello KT logo on them. She looked very cute. It seemed like she came out in a hurry and didn't have time to change. In fact, she was in a hurry, so she took her sister's car keys and went downstairs. She didn't even have time to think about the scary fact that she was still wearing pajamas. "You're really here? It seems like it's true." Cece walked over and said as soon as she saw Rick. "Cece, how did you?" Huamin was very curious. Only she and Qin Shu knew that Rick was having dinner at their house. How did Cece? Did her husband leak the secret out? That shouldn't be the case. Judging from the way Qin Shu looked at him just now, it was clear that he didn't know either. "Pudding told me." Cece glanced at Huamin and answered, Pudding." Huamin was completely speechless. Qin Shu was also very surprised. Huamin didn't know when Pudding and Cece called. Moreover, after the video call just now, she even leaked information. Oh my God, when did Little Pudding become a spy? Rick didn't care who leaked the secret, but he was surprised to see Cece under such circumstances. But at the same time, his heart was filled with pleasant surprise. "Cece, long time no see." Rick's Chinese was very fluent. His eyes were still so deep and serene. When he looked at you, you would have a feeling that no matter how angry you were, you couldn't bear to let it out. "It's been a long time indeed. If I remember correctly, we've been apart for 3 years, 2 months, 25 days, 6 hours, and 43 minutes. Cece finished her sentence. The three of them all fell silent. Qin Shu and Huamian were also deeply shocked by Cece's memory. Even Huamin became nervous when she saw this scene. She reached out to Qin Shu's hand, and Qin Shu held her hand with his warm palm. The two of them stood behind Rick and quietly watched Cece, who was covered in wind and rain, rush over. At this moment, she was so affectionate. "Cece, how have you been these past few years?" Rick asked softly. "What do you think?" Tears welled up in Cece's eyes, as if she would burst into tears at any moment. Chapter 2236. Rick was speechless at Cece's words. She sounded like she was complaining, but Cece looked very pitiful. The four of them stood in front of Hua Min's house in the dead of winter, looking silly and weird. Cece was wearing pajamas, so Hua Min was worried that she would catch a cold. "Cece, let me get you a jacket," Hua Min said. Cece shook her head and said, "No, Sister Mian, I'm not cold. Also, can you and President Qin do me a favor?" Cece sounded very sad. Hua Min and Qin Shu looked at each other and nodded. "Go ahead. Can we have a few words in private?" Hearing Cece's request, Qin Shu and Hua Min immediately felt that they were unnecessary. Then, Qin Shu put his arm around Hua Min's shoulder and walked back. "It's cold outside, Rick. Why don't you bring Cece in for a chat?" Looking at the freezing weather outside, Hua Min couldn't bear to see the two of them standing outside like idiots. "No, I think he really doesn't want to see me. I won't take up too much of his time. Let's just talk," Cece said firmly. Rick didn't say anything. He just took off his jacket and put on Cece. He put on Cece. Cece looked at this man. He was still the same as before. Even the way he treated her was different from others. She was so angry that she took off the jacket and threw it on the ground. "I don't need your fake kindness." Cece looked at Rick and said, "I'm not being fake. I really don't want you to get cold," Rick explained calmly. "Then I'll freeze to death," Cece said angrily. Hua Min and Qin Shu had already entered the house and were standing there. The atmosphere was very awkward. Rick didn't say anything. He lowered his head and bent down to pick up the black jacket that Cece threw on the ground. Then they put on for Cece. "I told you, I don't need your pity. I don't need your fake kindness." Cece took off her jacket and threw it on the ground mercilessly. He didn't give Rick any face at all and even made him lose face. The bodyguard in the distance were furious. It was as if he wanted to teach this arrogant woman a lesson. However, Rick raised his hand and stopped them. "Get lost. No one is allowed to come over." He spoke in perfect English. When the bodyguards heard this, they stopped in their tracks and didn't dare to move. "Cece, between us." Rick seemed to want to say something, but Cece didn't give him a chance because as soon as he opened his mouth, she threw herself into Rick's arms. She wrapped her arms tightly around his neck. The long-lost fragrance slowly penetrated his nose, and Rick's eyes actually moistened in an instant. This girl always gave him too many mysterious feelings. Perhaps only when he was with her did he feel that he had a heart. He was not a homicidal maniac, nor was he some underworld godfather. Cece. He called her name gently. Don't say it. Let me say it, okay? Cece's voice was trembling. Okay, say it. Rick really wanted to hug the woman in front of him. But his rationality told him not to do so. He had to endure it, because he and Cece were already in two different worlds. It was impossible. So even though he clenched his fists tightly, he still didn't move. Rick, you're so cruel. You actually ignored me for 3 years. I thought you wouldn't forget me, but who knew that the person you couldn't forget was me? You're even more cruel than me. You didn't even see me when you came back. If Pudding didn't tell me, maybe I wouldn't have been able to see you. I just want to ask you, what did I do wrong? Why are you so cruel to me? Cece lay in Rick's arms, crying as she asked. Her tear-stained face was really heartbreaking. Chapter 22:37. Cece, I'm sorry. Rick had no choice but to apologize to Cece at this moment. He was really sorry. I don't want to hear you say sorry. Cece sobbed as she leaned against his chest. Looking at the crying Cece, Rick finally couldn't help but raise his hands, which he didn't know where to put, and then hugged her. At that moment, he felt as if the whole world had fallen silent. It was minus 20 degrees Celsius. They stood there and hugged each other silently. Inside the room, Hwamin was worried. Honey, do you think they're going to be the same as before? Cece isn't worried that they won't reveal their feelings. Rick's personality can be so boring sometimes. Hwamin said worriedly, let's just leave it to fate. Everyone has the right to choose their own path. I understand Rick's situation, Chin-Chu said quietly. Then who's going to understand Cece? It's not easy for a girl. She's going to ruin her life when she sees Rick. Hwamin looked at the problem from a girl's point of view. He also saw Cece as the weak one. Honey, let's not talk about this. We should ask Pudding what she wants. Chin-Chu brought up the key issue. If you didn't mention it, I would have forgotten. I'll call her now. Hwamin picked up his phone and video called Pudding. Hello, Mommy. Pudding seemed to be in a good mood. Pudding, did you call Auntie Cece? Hwamin asked. Yes, you're right. Pudding admitted confidently. Why did you do that? Do you know how much trouble you've caused Uncle Rick? Hwamin said seriously. Mommy, stop pretending. Didn't you always want them to get back together? Pudding asked calmly. Who said that? Hwamin felt guilty. Do you even need to say it? Your expression is written all over your face. How do you know Auntie Cece's phone number? Hwamin was curious. The last time she came to visit us, I added her on WeChat. But to be honest, Auntie Cece is really innocent. Is she suitable for Uncle Rick, who's so cunning? What do you think? Pudding, now's not the time to discuss whether it's suitable or not. The question is, if you spill the beans, will it have a big impact on this matter? Chin-Chu couldn't help but speak up when he saw that his wife couldn't convince his daughter after talking for so long and was almost confused by her. Daddy, calm down. Feelings can't be forced. If they are fated, they will be together no matter what, even if they are at the ends of the world. But if they are not fated, it will be useless even if I try to matchmake them 100 times. You should know this. Well, that's true. As expected, Chin-Chu was finally convinced by his daughter's words. If that's the case, then let's continue to swim. You two continue to observe and let me know if you find anything. That's all. Then, Pudding hung up the phone, leaving her parents dumbfounded. Honey, that phone call was meaningless. Hwamin finally realized that he wanted to ask his daughter why she spilled the beans. In the end, his daughter convinced him with the theory of fate. So, Pudding has successfully brainwashed us. Chin-Chu sighed. Oh my God, this child is really... Hwamin's heart couldn't be described with the word collapse. Having 2 children in the family was really a mixture of sadness and joy. Chin-Chu and Hwamin were discussing their daughter in the room. The 2 of them were still in a deadlock. Godfather, we should go. The helicopter is here, one of his men urged. Chapter 2238. When Cece heard that Rick was going to leave, she grabbed his clothes tightly and refused to let go. Cece. Rick wanted to say something, but stopped. Can I not go? She didn't know that she was so spineless. She wanted to hit him, scold him, and blame him, but from a moment she saw him, she forgot everything and only hugged him affectionately. No matter how hard Rick's heart was, when he saw Cece like this, his heart would still soften. When she said, "Can I not go?" he was really shaken. "Godfather, we don't have much time," the subordinate urged for the second time. Rick was furious. He took out his gun and pointed at the man. "Shut up," he said. The subordinates and bodyguard were so scared that they didn't dare to move. Cece reached out and grabbed Rick's hand that was holding the gun, then slowly slid it to her chest. "Rick, I'm in so much pain. Just kill me. Shoot me, and everything will be over. I've been so tired for the past 3 years. I'm not interested in anything. I know it's useless to say this, but if I lose you, I'm really like a zombie. There's no joy in living. Maybe I'm too much of a failure as a person, and I can't make you stay with me. So, instead of this, I'd rather die in your hands. I know I can't keep you around forever, so, please, for the sake of us being together, grant me my wish." Cece's words were so painful that Rick's heart was broken. "Cece, don't be like this." Rick, who was a man of few words, didn't know what to say at this moment. He didn't dare to see Cece, not because he was afraid that she would pester him, and not because he didn't want to see her. It was because he liked her too much that he avoided her. He was afraid that he would lose control and make a decision that he would regret. With Rick's current identity as the godfather of the underworld, he no longer gave Cece happiness and stability. He gave her the chance to die at any time, so he couldn't. But now Cece was standing in front of him, forcing him to die. His heart was bleeding. That feeling was so painful that he wanted to die. When Huamin saw this scene, he was so scared that his face turned pale. He even wanted to come out. However, she was stopped by Qin Shu. "Honey, it's better for them to solve their own problems. We can't help them." Qin Shu understood Rick's inner struggle, so he empathized with his feelings at this moment. "Hubby," Huamin said softly. If you were Rick and I was Cece, would you do the same to me?" Huamin suddenly became very pessimistic and sad, and made a hypothetical. Qin Shu hugged her waist tightly from behind, then leaned over and whispered in her ear, "To me, you are my whole world, so? But no matter what, I will not leave you." "Weren't you?" Before Huamin could finish his sentence, Qin Shu interrupted him. "Every time I left you before, it was so that we could be together in the future. But Rick didn't do that. He wanted to leave forever for Cece's safety. Then Cece is so pitiful." After hearing what Qin Shu said, Huamin sighed. "No, I think Rick is the more pitiful one. He can't say anything, and he keeps everything in his heart." Qin Shu disagreed with Huamin on this matter. As the two of them chatted, a gunshot broke the silence of the night. Huamin and Qin Shu immediately pushed open the door and ran out. They saw Cece pull the trigger while holding Rick's hand. Rick's black gun opened a bright red flower on Cece's chest. Cece. At this moment, Rick's consciousness finally collapsed. Cece's body went limp, and she slowly fell into Rick's arms. Chapter 2239. Cece. Rick couldn't think straight anymore. He hugged Cece tightly and called her name. He thought Cece would only scare him to make him stay, but he didn't expect her to pull the trigger without warning. Everything happened so suddenly that he didn't have time to react. All he could think about was Cece. Cece was lying in his arms, on the verge of death. "Then you won't leave me." She forced herself to say it. Her body and mind were very weak, and she even smiled. Rick felt a tearing pain in his heart. The pain came one after another, and he couldn't stop. He hugged Cece, and his tears finally came out like a broken dam. "Cece, Cece, don't sleep. Wake up." Huamin rushed back. "Qin Shu, help me save Cece. I can't let her die." Rick looked at Qin Shu like a helpless child. Huamin didn't understand Rick's coldness. Was she angry? She looked at Rick and shouted, "Save what? Let's just kill her. I don't want to be tortured by you after she's saved. Honey, calm down. Chin Chu placed his hand on her shoulder. How can I calm down? Look at Cece now. Huamin was also very agitated. Let's save her first. We could talk about the rest later. Chin Chu left. He carried Cece in his arms and put her in the car. Luckily, South Hill Manor was very close to Southside. They took a short time to send Cece to the hospital. Chin Chu changed into his doctor's clothes and followed them into the operating room. Huamin was emotionally unstable, so Chin Chu left him outside. Before Chin Chu went in, Rick held his hand and said, "Brother, I'll leave her to you." Chin Chu understood what he meant. Rick trusted him. He nodded. "Don't worry. I'll save her." After Chin Chu entered the operating room, Huamin and Rick waited outside. Huamian didn't say a word to him. Perhaps she thought that Rick was responsible for everything that had happened to Cece and that he was the culprit. She was a beautiful girl with a harmonious family and a few good friends. She came from a good family and studied abroad. She was sweet and cute. She was such a winner in life, but because she fell in love with someone like Rick, who had a special identity and a cold personality, she became what she was today. Huamin felt that Cece was not worth it. "Dr. Chin, the patient's heart rate is very unstable. It's about to stop," the nurse said anxiously. He gave Chin Chu a big problem right from the start. Because Cece wanted to die, the part of her body that was shot happened to be her heart, which was the most important part. Electric shock. Chin Chu made a prompt decision without any hesitation. The operation lasted for more than 4 hours. Rick's men did not dare to urge their godfather to leave. From evening to the wee hours of the morning, the four of them spent their time in the hospital. At 1 o'clock in the morning, Chin Chu came out of the operating room tiredly and took off his mask. Huamin and Rick rushed to him immediately. "Honey, how is Cece?" Huamin asked first. "The bullet has been removed. She needs to be under observation for 48 hours. Chin Chu answered. Huamin and Rick were relieved to hear Chin Chu's words. "Chin, I want to see her," Rick said in a low voice. "Not now. She's not out of danger yet. She needs to be observed in a sterile environment. You can see her through the glass door," Chin Chu suggested. Huamin looked at Rick angrily. "I'm telling you, her life could be in danger at any time. If Cece dies, you'll feel guilty for the rest of your life. Do you understand?" Chapter 2240. I know. Rick didn't avoid Huamin's accusation. "Honey, I'm so hungry." Chin Chu changed the topic so that his wife wouldn't be a burden to Rick. Huamin held on to Chin Chu's hand, heartbroken. "Let's go home. I'll cook you some noodles." Chin Chu nodded and turned to Rick. "Don't worry. She'll be fine." Rick nodded, knowing that he didn't need to say anything. On the way home, Huamin was still angrily criticizing Rick for his coldness toward Cece. Chin Chu didn't say anything. He waited for Huamin to finish before saying, "Honey, Rick isn't as heartless as you think. It's just his personality. He was born into a family like that, so his childhood was destined to be less happy than others. He was under a lot of pressure and didn't know how to fall in love or how to protect someone. His family taught him how to kill. We're not Rick, we're not in his shoes, so we can't treat him the same way." "Oomph. So you're speaking up for your brother?" Huamin pouted. Okay, let's not fight over this. Someone just said he was going to cook me some noodles. No, go eat instant noodles." Huamin pretended to be angry. "Fine." Even though her husband just had a major surgery and is exhausted, his wife doesn't care about him. She wants him to eat instant noodles, so let him eat them. After all, instant noodles are junk food. If he eats too much, his stomach will be damaged. When that happens, he'll have to rely on his wife to take care of him. Mr. Chin complained on purpose. Huamin's heart softened. "Okay, stop nagging. I'm going to cook some noodles. Wait here, and you should go take a shower. You smell like formalin. Isn't this your favorite smell?" Chin Chu joked. "I love it when I'm at work, but not when I'm home. My house must always be filled with the smell of rice." After that, Huamin went straight into the kitchen to cook noodles for her husband. Outside Southside, Rick was now outside the glass door, looking at Cece. He knew that Qin Shu and Huamin were right. Cece was still in danger and could leave him at any time. Cece, you have to wake up. I don't want to lose you. Thinking about what Cece had said before she fainted, Rick felt as if someone had ruthlessly rubbed his heart. Yending Mountain, Pudding, and Little Bean were swimming with their grandparents. Qin Ning, on the other hand, liked outdoor hot springs. He was soaking in the hot spring water alone in the ginseng pool. Snowflakes were still floating in the sky, landing on her black hair and forming ice droplets. She was extremely beautiful. At this moment, her phone rang. It was a WeChat message. She immediately picked up her phone from the rock beside her. In the end, he was a little disappointed. It turned out to be his overseas father. Nowadays, he was really keeping up with the times. His father was also using WeChat and would send him red packets from time to time. Where are Pudding and Little Bean? I want to see them, Qin Ning's father said in a voice message. They're not with me. They're swimming indoors with Uncle. You can video call Uncle, okay? You didn't see that brat from the Tang family when you went back, right? Qin Ning's father had been angry ever since Tang Chuan ran away last time. He felt that this brat didn't love his daughter and didn't want to be a live-in son-in-law, so he ran away in the middle of the night. In fact, he didn't know that Tang Chuan didn't leave because of this. Dad, can you stop asking about me? Qin Ning was very annoyed. She put down her phone and muttered to herself, that brat from the Tang family. Who wants to see him? However, at this moment, she heard a voice behind her. You're not a good baby when you talk bad about others. Qin Ning was startled. She turned around and was dumbfounded. You, why are you here? Chapter 2241. Why can't I be here? I'm here to soak in the hot spring. You're doing business here, so why can't I come? Tang Chuan laughed. Ever since he knew that Qin Ning was back, Tang Chuan had been in a good mood. You came by yourself? Or, Qin Ning looked around and didn't see Tang Chuan with any female companions. She was secretly happy. You don't have to. I really came by myself. Tang Chuan laughed. Perhaps Qin Ning felt that she was being too obvious, so she immediately explained, I mean, you didn't come with Su Yu and the others? No, it's almost Chinese New Year. Lord Su is very busy these days. He has to go back to his hometown with the Su family to worship their ancestors. Oh, what about you? You don't have to worship your ancestors? Qin Ning looked at Tang Chuan and asked. Me, of course I do. I went there early and ran back. I didn't go with my dad and the others. I burned some paper for my great-grandfather alone. I hope that he will bless me and help me marry a good wife this year. After hearing this, Qin Ning's cheeks flushed slightly. Then, Tang Chuan continued, It doesn't matter if I'm a live-in son-in-law or not. The most important thing is that you have me in your heart. I don't want to get married, not because of love. After all, it's such a precious thing. It might only happen once in a lifetime. You're so talkative. Qin Ning turned her head away, too embarrassed to look at Tang Chuan. She looked away. When did you come back? You didn't even tell me? I could have held a welcoming party for you. Tang Chuan came up and looked at Qin Ning in a colorful bikini swimsuit. His blood was about to boil. Because Chinese New Year was approaching, there weren't many people in the hot spring hotel. Especially the outdoor hot spring, the temperature was too low. Qin Ning was the only one there. So, when Tang Chuan came, he found that this was a good place to talk. Why should I tell you? You didn't tell me when you left. Qin Ning was still angry when she thought about how Tang Chuan left her house in the middle of the night without saying goodbye last time. I didn't. I left my last words. No, I left a note. Don't lie. What note? You didn't see it? Qin Ning played dumb. Io, little girl, you're really shameless. Tang Chuan laughed. Anyway, I didn't see any note. I knew someone had been living and eating at my place for more than 20 days, but in the end, he just left. How disloyal. The more Qin Ning spoke, the prouder she became. That sounds like it. Why don't I compensate you? Tang Chuan smirked. How? Qin Ning was surprised. I've been playing around since I was young, so I don't know much. How about this? I won't make things difficult for myself, and you don't make things difficult for me either. I only know a very professional skill, and I'll show it to you. What skill? Hearing Tang Chuan's serious tone, Qin Ning really fell for it. Tang Chuan moved his mouth closer to Qin Ning's ear and whispered, "Warm the bed. Tang Chuan, you pervert." Qin Ning was furious and immediately slapped Tang Chuan on the shoulder. Tang Chuan laughed. "Pervert? That's a good word to use. I think I can take it, hee. What kind of person is this? Instead of being ashamed, you're proud. You're the best in the world." Qin Ning was so amused by Tang Chuan that she didn't know what to say. However, it had to be said that this opening wasn't awkward at all. It was very lively. Tang Chuan was still the playboy from before, and Qin Ning was still the sometimes domineering and sometimes cute little girl. "Okay, Ning Ning, let's stop messing around. If I tease you again, you'll really get angry. Let's be honest, I miss you a lot." Tang Chuan looked at Qin Ning and said gently. Qin Ning felt that somewhere deep in her heart was beginning to throb. Chapter 2242. Tang Chuan's straightforward words made Qin Ning blush. "So, Ning Ning, did you miss me?" Tang Chuan asked. I didn't miss you." Qin Ning raised her voice guiltily. "You didn't miss me? Fine, it seemed like I was overthinking. When I heard that you came back, I was very excited. I even thought that you were brought back for me. Haha, but I know that's not the case. You just happened to come back for the spring festival. It's okay. I'm happy to see you. You're still so beautiful. I'm happy for you." Tang Chuan looked at Qin Ning and said word by word. "Tang Chuan, Qin Ning actually had a lot of things to say to him, but when the words reached her mouth, they became hesitant. It seemed that Qin Ning lacked experience. She didn't understand the inexplicable courage needed to be in love. Seeing her hesitate again, Tang Chuan was slightly disappointed. "It's good to see you. It's getting late. I'm going to go now. Have fun." Tang Chuan turned around and walked out of the hot spring. Qin Ning really wanted him to stay, but she didn't know what to say. She was so anxious that her heart was spinning. Just as she was hesitating, she suddenly felt her body warm up. Someone hugged her tightly. Then, her slightly cold lips were gently bitten by someone. Tang Chuan really wanted to leave because he realized that Qin Ning's attitude was still the same as before. He didn't know what was going on, and he hated it. He wanted to know what she was thinking. He wanted to know if he meant anything to her. Then he gathered his courage, turned around the moment he stepped out of the hot spring, and quickly swam to Qin Ning's side. Then, before she could react, he opened his arms and hugged her. Then, he kissed her again. Perhaps because of her previous experience, Qin Ning didn't break down as badly this time. At first, when she came to her senses, she subconsciously wanted to push him away. However, after 2 tries, she realized that she couldn't move him at all. Qin Ning decided to just go with the flow and stop struggling. Tang Chuan's kiss gradually made her feel different. It was a little ticklish, as if a small fish was swimming in her heart. It was especially comfortable and warm. Gradually, not only did she stop resisting, but she even responded awkwardly. Feeling that Qin Ning was trying her best to respond to him, Tang Chuan was so excited that he almost died. He hugged Qin Ning tightly and kissed her even more passionately. The two of them kissed passionately. On the other side, the twins were extremely bored after swimming and ran over to play with their little aunt. It was quite shocking to see such a scene. Little Bean, sis, what did I see? Was it an illusion? Pudding, absolutely not, because I saw it too. Little Bean, so, those people are Uncle Tang and Auntie Qin, right? Pudding, yes, they're kissing. It looks like. Little Bean, it's so sudden. I'm not mentally prepared at all. What are we going to do now? Should we rush up and separate them? Pudding, we better not. Uncle Tang will hate us to death. Little Bean, then are we just going to watch Auntie Qin suffer? Pudding, I think Auntie Qin is enjoying it. Little Bean, sis, are you sure your analysis is correct? Pudding, why don't you try to separate them? Little Bean, nah, it's my first time seeing such an intimate scene up close. Oh, right, I need to record it with my phone. Pudding, why? Little Bean, with this video, I can blackmail Uncle Tang for Haagen-Dazs. If he doesn't agree, I'll send it to second grandpa to see how other people bully his daughter. Then I'll break his legs. Pudding gave her a thumbs up. You're really unscrupulous for food. The two sisters calmly watched the scene unfold after the kiss. Qi Ning inadvertently glanced over. When she saw the twins, she immediately collapsed. Oh my God, that's Pudding and Little Bean? Qi Ning immediately covered her face with both hands, feeling extremely embarrassed. Chapter 2243. How long have you two been peeking? Tang Chuan was very generous and did not feel embarrassed at all. You bullied our Annie behind our backs, and you still dare to be so self-righteous? You're so shameless, Pudding said in a domineering tone. Yeah. You think you can take advantage of our Annie just because she's dumb and innocent? Uncle Tang, you're getting more and more shameless as you get older. Pudding made a shy gesture with her fingers. Why would I be afraid of that? What's the point of being shy? I can't get a wife. Tang Chuan sighed. Qi Ning immediately reacted and pushed Tang Chuan away. Get lost. Who's your wife? Huh? You didn't hide just now. You can't turn against us just because the two little brats are here. Ning. Tang Chuan pretended to exaggerate. Pudding and Little Bean watched with great interest. Pudding, Little Bean. What you saw just now. Qi Ning paused, probably because she was too embarrassed. Don't worry, I won't tell Daddy and Mommy. Pudding reacted quickly. Good girls, and he didn't spoil you two for nothing. Qi Ning immediately relaxed after hearing Pudding's words. But Andy, are you really going to date Uncle Tang? He's a big bad wolf, and you're a little white rabbit. He'll eat you up. Pudding looked at her auntie worriedly. Her cute expression made people want to kiss her. Little Bean, you eat a lot of my Haagen-Dazs, right? It's okay if you don't help me at a critical moment like this. You're not a good kid, Tang Chuan reminded her. Don't worry, I never want to be a good kid, Pudding retorted. Tang Chuan, it's so cold outside. No, I have to go in and change. Qi Ning felt that kissing Tang Chuan was already embarrassing enough. Now that her two nieces had seen it, she found an excuse to run away. Hey, Ning, you have to be responsible for me, Tang Chuan shamelessly shouted behind her. Qi Ning covered her face with her hands and lowered her head. She ran as fast as she could and almost buried her head in the ground. After Qi Ning went in, Tang Chuan stood contentedly in the outdoor hot spring with his hands on his hips. Nieces from now on. I'm your uncle. Be good, call me uncle, Tang Chuan said proudly. Pudding, many people want to be our uncle. Who do you think you are? Little Bean, that's right. Who do you think you are? Tang Chuan, hey, you two brats, why are you so against me? I used to love you so much. I bought you so much food, drinks, and toys for you. You two need to know how to be grateful. Tang Chuan bickered with the twins. Sure, we can also buy you Haagen-Dazs to repay you. Pudding's mouth was unforgiving. Pudding, can you two still have fun with Uncle Tang? Tang Chuan was also subdued by the two little devils. We've never had fun. Thank you, Pudding retorted without giving him any face. Tang Chuan wanted to cry, but had no tears. Just like that, the two of them became the most beautiful scenery in the outdoor hot spring. No one thought that Tang Chuan would drive all the way to Yunding Mountain to see Qi Ning. The entire Tang family was looking for him like crazy. On the other hand, Qin Shu and Huamin originally planned to meet up with their family on Yunding Mountain. However, Cece's accident forced them to postpone their trip. On the way to South Side, Huamin received a call from Jixin. Hey Jixin, what is it? Sis, when are you and brother-in-law going to Yunding Mountain? Let's go together. Chapter 2244. Something came up over here, so we'll be there later. Jixin, take Mom there first. I've already asked them to reserve a room for you. What happened? Jixin was worried about his sister. Nothing, don't worry. You guys go first. Okay, sis, you have to be careful. Jixin hung up the phone and drove his mother and luggage to the Yunding Mountain Hot Spring Resort. Huamin and Qin Chu planned to spend New Year's there, so their family stayed in a suite on the top floor. They could soak in the hot spring and watch the snow every day. It was very relaxing and comfortable. Huamin was very excited to hear that Cece had woken up. After Cece's accident, Huamin didn't want his family to worry, so he called Suyu and asked him to tell Cece's sister that Cece had gone abroad for a vacation and that they shouldn't worry. Otherwise, if Cece's family knew that she was like this, they probably wouldn't be able to celebrate New Year's. It was understandable how they felt. When Huamin arrived at Cece's room, Qin Shu and Rick were both there. As Cece's chief surgeon, Qin Shu had been carrying the responsibility of a doctor. He had been observing her condition for a long time, and it was indeed very tiring for him. Qin Shu also had to deal with the company. Huamin's heart ached when he saw this. Sister Mian, Cece looked at Huamin and said weakly, "Don't talk, Cece. You're so weak." Huamin was so scared that he immediately walked over and held her hand. "How are you feeling?" Huamin asked. "I'm fine." Cece's face was pale. She had just woken up and was dehydrated because of severe blood loss and 48 hours of not eating. She looked exhausted. "Don't worry. You just had a major surgery, so you'll recover slowly. I've already asked President Su to help you apply for leave. He said that you're going abroad with us for a vacation." "Thank you, Sister Mian," Cece said with difficulty. Rick saw this from the side, and his heart ached for her. Qin Shu gave Huamin a look. "Honey, come drink some tea with me. I'm thirsty." "Okay." Huamin knew that Cece probably wanted to talk to Rick alone. That was why Mr. Qin was so open-minded as to take her away and give Cece and Rick some space to talk. After Qin Shu and Huamin left, Rick walked over and crouched beside Cece's bed. "Cece, I'm not dead. Are you disappointed?" Cece smiled bitterly. Rick almost burst into tears again. "Why do you say that? Am I that kind of man in your heart? Isn't that so? Don't you hate me and don't want to see me? Other people are still good exes and can still be friends even after they break up. There's nothing between us, but we're like enemies." Cece was full of grievances. "It's not like that, Cece. You're wrong. You can't say that. Nothing happened between us. We have a lot of memories together, a lot of good memories. Then why did you abandon me?" Cece questioned. "I didn't abandon you. Cece, I left for your own good, really." Rick didn't want to aggravate Cece's injuries, so he tried to comfort her in the most gentle tone possible. "That's such a cheap excuse. If that's what you mean by for my own good, then I don't need you to do it for me." Qin Shu also said that he was doing it for Huamin, so he didn't come back to see her for 4 years. "I already thought he was cruel. I didn't expect you to do it for my own good, too. If that's what you're doing, then I'm sorry, I don't need you to do it for my own good anymore. You should see me and contact me. I'm not afraid no matter how many disasters you bring me. Even if I die in the next moment, I won't back down. But I can't stand being strangers to you." Cece started panting again when she got too excited. Frightened, Hua Jinyao immediately held her hand tightly. "Cece, slow down. Calm down." Chapter 2245. Rick, you don't owe me anything. I'm just too stubborn and can't let go of our relationship. Maybe I'm forcing you. Since even death can't make us go back to square one, then let's just leave it at that. If we keep fighting, we'll both be tired. Cece shook off Rick's hand and said listlessly, "Cece, don't think too much. Just focus on getting better, okay? Don't worry about me. I know you're very busy. You don't have time for me." Maybe it was because Cece was still young that she said this in a fit of pique. "No, I'm not busy. No matter how busy I am, it's not as important as you. Cece, I know you don't want me to leave, so I won't leave. I'll stay with you. But if you don't leave now, it'll be Chinese New Year." Cece turned her head away from Rick's eyes. "Then I'll stay and spend Chinese New Year with you." Rick seemed to have made up his mind. But only lovers spend Chinese New Year together. There's nothing between us, then we'll be in a relationship and spend Chinese New Year together. Rick didn't know how to coax girls, so he just answered whatever Cece said. Even if it was a joke, he would say it seriously. "But we're not lovers anymore. We broke up more than 3 years ago." Cece pouted. "Then we'll start over and date again. But I'm not that easy to woo. It's not as simple as you saying we'll be together." Cece said proudly. It's okay. I'm very patient. I'll keep going until you say yes. After Rick said those words with deep emotion, Cece suddenly felt a little excited and turned over abruptly. Ouch! It hurts! Maybe she used too much force, so it hurt the gunshot wound. Cece slowed down. Rick was so scared that his face changed. He got up and was about to call the doctor, but Cece grabbed him tightly. Rick, do you mean what you said just now? What did I say? Rick answered seriously. Cece was so angry that she wanted to strangle him to death. Cece was exasperated. Seeing that she was really angry, Rick immediately comforted her. Of course, of course. Don't be so agitated. Don't be angry. It'll affect your wound. Cece, I mean what I said to you. I'll get you back, okay? Then this time, will you still ditch me? Cece asked worriedly. It can't be. No matter what happens, you won't abandon me, right? Cece asked for confirmation. Yes. You swear? I swear. This time, even if I have to go through a mountain of swords and a sea of flames, even if the sky falls and the earth rends, I will never leave you again. Under Cece's coercion, Rick finally confessed his love for her. Cece felt that happiness had come too suddenly. If it weren't for the gunshot wound, Rick would probably still deny his feelings for her. I'll remember this. If you dare to break your oath, I won't let you off even if I become a ghost. Okay? Rick smiled warmly and held Cece's hand tightly with both hands. But Cece, I have to tell you, the nature of my job, I'm actually the mafia godfather. I know all about it. Cece was very calm. Chapter 2246. Rick was slightly surprised. He didn't expect Cece to say it so casually. Sister Mion told me a little. When you were at Seductive Fox, I knew you weren't doing honest business. After all, everyone knows what kind of place Seductive Fox is. Rick, you underestimate my tolerance. I want to say that when I like you, I'll accept you no matter if you're a god or a demon. So, you're thinking too much. That's not important. Cece, I have a lot of enemies. I'm afraid that one day, someone will target you. Don't worry. I'll try not to be a burden to you. I'll stay by your side and never leave your side. If someone wants to hurt us, we'll fight it out. At worst, we'll die together. After Cece finished speaking, she finally smiled. Looking at her smile, Rick suddenly felt the emptiness in his heart slowly fill up. Maybe Cece was right. People should live a simple life. If they were afraid of wolves and tigers, they might live in fear for the rest of their lives. It was better to think in the simplest and most direct way. Cece's thoughts were extremely simple. If they liked each other, they'd like to be together. If they didn't, they'd separate. If they faced difficulties together, they'd solve them together. At worst, they'd die together. At this moment, Rick suddenly realized that he and Chin Shu had made a famous mistake. They thought they were doing it for the sake of their loved ones, but it wasn't really for their own good. After all, they weren't involved. Just like how Chin Shu left for 4 years. He thought it was for Huomin's good. But in the past 4 years, Huomin couldn't sleep well and didn't live a good life. To Huomin, having Chin Shu by her side was the best. He and Cece were the same. Because of his identity and family, he didn't want to implicate an innocent girl like Cece. But what he didn't know was that to Cece, as long as she was by his side, it was the greatest happiness. Even if it meant death, sometimes love could be said to be insignificant. Maybe some love couldn't withstand the test of money, let alone life and death. But some love was indeed great. Some people even spent their entire lives for love. They cherished love as much as their life. Although there weren't many girls like this, there were always some like Huomin and Cece. After almost losing Cece this time, Rick could no longer suppress his emotions. After comforting Cece for a long time and she fell asleep, Rick walked out of the room. How's she? Is she okay? Chin Shu asked. Yeah, she's asleep. What's your future plans? No. Rick was Cece's heart. She was Cece's die. Even if she was T-S. T's are you? T? SSS? SCC is T. T. S's this was it? By TT's S's and I'll never leave her again. Rick added, so are they going to make up? Huamian asked in disbelief. You could say that. You've really made up your mind? Aren't you? Chinshu knew what Rick was thinking, so he reminded him carefully. Compared to those things, I'm more afraid of losing her. Rick's answer was simple and direct. Huamian was slightly touched. Cece's actually very simple-minded. She simplifies a lot of complicated things. In her world, there's only black and white, right and wrong. There's no gray area. Girls like her are hard to come by. Huamian spoke up for Cece. I know. Cece's been great. I'm just afraid I'll drag her down. Rick lowered his head, feeling guilty. What about your fiancé in New Orleans? Chinshu was worried because he knew what kind of person Luna's father was. He was afraid that trouble would come. Chapter 22:47. Don't worry about Luna. I didn't agree to marry her anyway. It's always been her and her father's wishful thinking. Rick had always been cold towards women. Those who knew him well would know that he would only show his rare gentleness towards Cece. He was very similar to Mr. Chin in this aspect. However, the difference was that Mr. Chin not only loved his wife, but also loved his daughter. Just as they were chatting, Chinshu's phone rang. Seeing that it was his daughter, Chinshu wanted to let Huamian speak as well. Therefore, he turned on the speakerphone, and the volume was especially loud. As soon as the call went through, he heard Pudding's clear voice on the other end. Daddy, where are you? Daddy's outside. Are you busy? Yeah, I'm busy. Chinshu's eyes were filled with love. Then, is Mommy by your side? Are you two together? Yeah, we're together. When are you guys coming to the Hot Spring Hotel to see us? Soon. We'll be there as soon as we're done. Uncle Jishin and Grandma are already here. Now it's just you two. I always thought that Daddy and Mommy are punctual people, so Pudding didn't finish the rest of her sentence. Daddy. However, Huamian couldn't help but give Pudding a thumbs up. Her IQ and her words were too hard. Daddy and Mommy will definitely be there on time. Don't worry, Pudding, Chinshu promised again. Just then, Pudding snatched the phone away from him. Daddy, I miss you so much. This second brother, he started acting coquettishly the moment he came up. His voice was so adorable that it melted one's heart. Pudding, Daddy misses you too. Daddy, I haven't seen you and Mommy for days. I've been having insomnia. I can't sleep or eat well. I've lost 4 ounces. 4 ounces? Huh. Huamian couldn't help but laugh. The only person who could measure his weight was his adorable Miss Pudding. Mommy, why are you laughing? Do you have any compassion? Pudding immediately complained when she heard her mother's voice. Pudding, how can you lose weight? How could I not believe it? You ate so much at the Hot Spring Hotel. It would be weird if you didn't get fat. Huamian said, I really lost weight. If you don't believe me, you can ask Big Sis. Little Bean whined. Daddy, can you come back quickly? Without you at home, my heart feels empty. It's like I'm not interested in doing anything. Oh, is that so? I didn't know Daddy was so important to Little Bean. Mr. Chin smiled. Teasing the little girl, Rick, who was watching from the side, was really envious. Although he didn't have a child and wasn't a father yet, he could see such an expression on Chinshu's face. That was a miracle. Of course, Daddy is the most important. What about Mommy? Huamian pretended to be jealous. Mommy is a little worse than Daddy, because Mommy has a bad temper. Comparatively speaking, she's not as calm as Daddy. Little Bean's comment almost made the 3 adults burst out laughing. Okay, Little Bean, remember this, Huamian said deliberately with a smile. So, Daddy, can you come back now? I want to eat Sue G's hibiscus cake and osmanthus cake. Little Bean finally got to the point. Now? But Daddy, how many hours will it take to drive there? Chinshu looked at his watch. Chapter 22:48. I still want to eat it. They don't sell it here, but I really want to eat it, Little Bean said pitifully. Pudding chimed in, yes, Daddy. Little Bean was in a bad mood this morning, and Grandpa and Grandma couldn't calm her down. She said she dreamed of hibiscus cakes last night. Do you want to buy some now? Sure, wait for me. I'll go buy some right away. Chin Chu didn't hesitate. He immediately agreed to help the twins. Honey, don't you still have unfinished documents of the company? Huamin was surprised. Don't I still have you? Honey, you stay here and observe Cece for a while. If she's fine, you can go back to the company and then drive straight to the Hot Spring Hotel, Chin Chu instructed. What about you? I'm going to buy some hibiscus cakes now. You're really going? Huamin thought that Chin Chu spoiled the twins too much. It was a few hundred kilometers away from Yunding Mountain. Was it really a good idea to go through so much trouble just to buy snacks for the kids? However, Mr. Chin had already left to carry out his orders. Before he left, he said to Rick, Cece can't leave the hospital right now. If you stay for the new year, you'll probably have to stay in a hospital too. Call me if you need anything. Rick nodded. Chin Chu took his car keys and left. Huamin was speechless. Chin Chu is so good to the twins. Rick couldn't help but exclaim, I'm so jealous. Huamin was jealous. Then, he shamelessly posted a WeChat message on his WeChat friend circle. It was a picture of Chin Chu's back view. It said, this man just went to buy pastries for someone else's wife. I'm so angry. As soon as the message was sent, everyone exploded. Zhu Lingling, what's going on? Did Mr. Chin cheat? Huamin replied to Zhu Lingling. He came out of the closet. Zhixin, sis, what's going on? Huamin replied to Zhixin. Nothing. Gao ran. Looks like there's going to be a family war. Tang Chuan. Get a stool and sit down and watch the show. The front row sells mineral water, drinks, and popcorn. Huamin replied to Tang Chuan. I'll talk to Ning Ning about young Master Tang's love history later. Tang Chuan, no. I was wrong. Sister-in-law, I was really wrong. Huamin replied to Tang Chuan. I'm not your sister-in-law yet. Please watch your words. Wei Liao. It's so lively today. Everyone came out to get some fresh air. Jiang Xiaowei. You guys are really stupid. What she said was obvious. She was referring to Pudding and Lil Bean. Okay? Other than his own daughter, who else would Mr. Chin treat so well? Everyone was commenting happily below the post. At this time, Suyu called. Hello. Huamin, did you go to the Hot Spring Hotel for Chinese New Year? Suyu asked. Not yet. I'm still at Southside. Oh, wait for me. I'll come to you. What's up? Huamin knew that Suyu wouldn't come to him for no reason. I have something for you. Then, before Huamin could reply, Suyu hung up. Inside the Yunding Mountain Hot Spring Hotel, the twins and Tang Chuan were resting in the hotel's upstairs cafe. Annie, how was my performance? Little Bean looked at Chin Ning with a smile. It was great. So you lost. Give me the money. Little Bean reached out her chubby little hand. Chin Ning had just made a bet with her Annie that she would call her dad and ask him to come to the hotel immediately. However, the twins called right away, and Chin Ning lost the bet. Niece, you're so business-minded, Chin Ning exclaimed as she took out her wallet. Tang Chuan quickly took out 1,000 yuan and put it on the table. Ning Ning, I'll pay for you. Why? Chin Ning looked at Tang Chuan from the corner of her eyes. Because you're my wife, Tang Chuan said smoothly. Chin Ning's face immediately turned red. The twins looked at Tang Chuan and then at their aunt with that look in their eyes. What's going on? Did you two sleep together? Little Bean looked at the two of them seriously. Chapter 2249. Little Bean, don't talk nonsense. Chin Ning was so embarrassed that she was about to explode. His two nieces' habit of not giving up until they said something shocking was really inherited from their brother Chin Chu's fine tradition. I want to sleep with her, but your Annie won't let me. Tang Chuan smiled wickedly. Chin Ning was so angry that she slapped Tang Chuan's shoulder. Auntie, you know how to flirt now? Pudding glanced at Chin Ning calmly. Chin Ning, is it because I can't explain myself no matter what I do? Chin Ning felt wronged. You two kissed in the outdoor hot spring. What's there to explain? I'm going to talk to Daddy and Mommy when they come back. Little Bean purposely lowered her head and mumbled. Qi Ning was scared out of her wits. Little Bean, does Auntie love you? Qi Ning asked. Yeah, she does. Then why did you betray Auntie? Betray? Why do I feel like Auntie is being bullied? That's why I want to tell Daddy and Mommy to help you. Little Bean's mouth was not going to let Qi Ning off easily. Ahem. Listen to me, Little Bean. Auntie isn't being bullied. Qi Ning explained patiently. So you did it willingly? So, do you like Uncle Tang too? Little Bean asked the key question again. To be honest, when Tang Chuan heard this, he was really excited. He really wanted to hear it from Qi Ning's mouth. He didn't expect Little Bean to be so dumb, cute, and dumb. However, she was still so sharp-tongued at critical moments. Little Bean, Qi Ning's face turned red again. Please answer my question, Auntie. If you admit that you did it willingly, then I won't tell anyone. Otherwise, I'll pretend that you were being bullied and tell Daddy and Mommy to help you. Little Bean threw out a difficult problem. Pudding glanced at Tang Chuan and asked in a low voice, When did you bribe this foodie? Why is she helping you like this? This is our secret. Tang Chuan smiled proudly. In the end, Qi Ning admitted defeat. Listen to me, Pudding. I was willing to do this, but I understand. We're all adults. I won't disturb you guys anymore. Sis, let's go see if Grandpa and Grandma are hungry. We'll take them to eat Cantonese food. Then, Little Bean held Pudding's hand and walked out. Qi Ning's heart was about to break down. And they're all adults? Those two were clearly little brats, all right? Ning Ning. After the twins left, Tang Chuan looked at Qi Ning affectionately. Qi Ning gritted her teeth and said, Tang Chuan, don't misunderstand. I was afraid that Little Bean would tell my brother and sister-in-law. That's why I deliberately misled them. I didn't mean what I said. Do you understand? I know. Tang Chuan smiled. You're still laughing? Qi Ning was a little angry. She had just been bullied by her niece, but this idiot didn't come to help her. What else? Do you want me to continue kissing you? It's freezing outside. I think it's faster to hug each other. Don't you agree? Tang Chuan walked up to Qi Ning and tried to hug her. However, Qi Ning kicked him away. Go away. Don't touch me. She had already been taken advantage of today. The twins walked out and started a highly intelligent conversation. Little Bean, sis, how was my performance just now? Pudding seriously exceeded your usual IQ. It was like you were cheating. Little Bean, damn, are you complimenting me or insulting me? Chapter 2250. Pudding, guess. Little Bean, I'm too lazy to guess. Pudding, Little Bean, sis, do you think there's something going on between Uncle Tang and Auntie? Pudding, I don't know if there's anything going on between them, but I know that you just interrogated Annie and got the answer Uncle Tang wanted. So, can you tell me what kind of deal you made with Uncle Tang? Why are you working with him? Little Bean, working with him is overboard. It's not like I'm betraying Auntie. Pudding, cut the crap. What did Uncle Tang give you? Little Bean, there's nothing good this time. Sis, I'm really tired of seeing him like that. Auntie, too, clearly has someone in her heart, but she won't admit it. Pudding, how do you know Annie likes him? Which eye of yours saw that? Little Bean, gosh. Sis, can you stop testing my IQ? Although my IQ isn't as high as yours, my EQ isn't lower than yours. Mommy invited Annie to come back for the new year, but she said she might not have time. Don't you think it's strange that she suddenly came back? Plus, with Andy's temper, if someone forced a kiss on her and she didn't like it, she would have drowned Uncle Tang in the hot spring just now. After all, Grandpa Chin said Annie was a high-level taekwondo fighter, but she didn't. What does that mean? It means she has someone in her heart. Uncle Tang is an experienced flirt, but it's all an act. Handsome Sue said that Uncle Tang was hurt by love before, but he's still very soft and pure. Those women are all for show. So, when it comes to flirting, he doesn't have much experience. The two of them were stuck like that, and I felt annoyed just watching them, so I decided to help them. Pudding, at this moment, you're like a Buddha. Little Bean, haha. Sis, I'm embarrassed by your high praise. Pudding, so can you tell me now? What did Uncle Tang give you? Little Bean, ahem. Sis, is it really okay for you to expose me like this? Pudding, what? Little Bean, an AI robot. Pudding, damn. Isn't that the one the Tang Corporation listed on the overseas market this year? I heard it's an AI robot butler. That's the best technology. Little Bean. Yeah, I just casually mentioned it, and he gave it to me. Pudding. I'll give you a robot worth more than 1 million as a gift. You're so proud. Little Bean. If it weren't for the fact that the technology isn't mature enough and it hasn't been sold globally, do you think I would want it? The problem is that it's not even available now. But I really like it. I even named it Whitey, hee. This was because the two ladies liked a Disney animation called Supermarines. There was a divine artifact robot butler in the movie called Dubai. It was especially warm, so Little Bean became obsessed with robots from then on. There were many robots in the house. However, this was the first time there were more than 1 million robots. Uncle Tang really put in a lot of effort this time. Pudding exclaimed with a smile. That's for sure. Auntie isn't that easy to woo. While the two ladies were singing the same tune, Tang Chuan and Qi Ning were still bickering and chatting in the cafe. Qi Ning suddenly felt that with Tang Chuan here, her boring life suddenly became much more interesting. Of course, she still didn't know that this was the feeling of liking someone. She thought that it was just because everyone was familiar with each other. After answering the phone, Huamin waited for Su Yu in the office at Southside. Soon, Su Yu arrived in his flashy Lamborghini. Huamin, come downstairs, Su Yu said on WeChat. Huamin immediately put on his jacket and went downstairs. When he reached the door, he was stunned. Chapter 22:51. What are you doing? Huamin thought that since it was almost New Year, so you must have bought some food for the twins so that they could bring it back to the hot spring hotel. However, he realized that it wasn't as simple as just food. Behind the black Lamborghini was a white, mid-sized pickup truck. There were a lot of big boxes in the truck. These are New Year goodies for you guys. So you answered calmly. What year are we in now? Bro, do you really need to buy New Year goodies like this? What do you need? The supermarket has it, okay? The hotel also has everything prepared. Huamin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. The supermarket won't sell these things, and neither will the hotel. Su Yu answered with certainty. For example, Huamin tilted his head and looked at him. I prepared 6 boxes of crabs for you. 6 different types of crabs that you don't have a foodie for. I'm afraid that you'll freeze to death, so I put them in the freezer. You have to hurry up and eat them. There's also pudding and pudding's favorite ice creams, pastries, and candies. There's Russian 7-colored tiramisu, Turkish sourdough, and special Hawaiian nuts. Anyway, these are all things that you can't buy. Okay, you win. Huamin couldn't help but admire Su Yu. How do you get a truck full of New Year goodies? They were all specialties from all over the world. Most importantly, he still remembered that Huamin loved crabs. Then don't just stand there. When you drive back to the hotel, you can drive in front, and I'll have the truck follow behind you. Oh, and we'll drive behind you to protect you guys. No need, right? It's just New Year's. Is it necessary? Huamin chuckled. I just video chatted with Pudding. She said that Qin Chu went back early. I'm afraid that you'll be in danger if you're alone. So you looked at Huamin seriously, his eyes full of tenderness. Mr. Qin already arranged for someone to protect me. I don't need him. It's too troublesome. He needs to go home for the New Year. Huamin politely declined Su Yu's request for Anne's protection. Well, in short, you're not going back alone. I'm relieved. Su Yu nodded. Then, I'll accept the New Year goods. I won't stand on ceremony. Huamin smiled brightly. Yes, it was prepared for you. You're welcome. Tell Lord Su that we will come back on the 2nd day of the 1st lunar month to give him a New Year's greeting. Ask him to prepare a red packet. Huamin joked. Of course, the red packet was prepared half a year ago. My old man only has eyes for the twins. Su Yu pretended to be jealous. Oh, right, how's that girl named Cece? Is it serious? Su Yu thought about Cece's injury. She's fine. Her life is no longer in danger. Have you contacted her family? Huamin asked. Su Yu nodded. I did. Maybe it's because I'm the one who said it, so it's more believable. I called Nye Lingxian. That's good. Okay. I'll leave you to it. I'm leaving. Wait. Huamin hurriedly stopped him. Suyu immediately turned around. Thank you, Lord Su. Huamin thanked him sincerely. Don't mention it. Suyu laughed heartily. Then I'll see you on the second day of the first lunar month. By the way, I'll arrange Ai Yang's wedding. If you have any ideas or requests, feel free to contact me. After all, he's an employee of your company. This wedding is also a grand occasion for Imperial Star. I know. I'll leave it to you. Just do whatever you want. So you waved his hand and left Southside. Watching this majestic man drive away in his black Lamborghini, Suyu felt a little guilty. Huamin looked at the sincere New Year's gifts and felt guilty. She had never wronged anyone in her life, whether it was her parents, her children, or her lover. The only person she had wronged was this man. She was afraid that she would never be able to repay Suyu's kindness in this lifetime. Before Huamin left Southside, he went to see Cici again. Sister Mian, you're here. Cici looked a lot better and was able to sit up against the headboard. Rick was peeling an apple with a fruit knife. It was a heartwarming scene. Chapter 2252. Cici, don't worry. Mr. Chin and I plan to go back to the Hot Spring Hotel to meet up with our family. After 3 days of injections, you could be discharged. I've reserved a suite for you guys at the hotel. You and Rick can go to the hotel to meet us. Ai Yang is getting married on the 8th day of the Chinese New Year. Okay. Thank you, Sister Mian. You're welcome. Call me if you need anything. Just focus on your recovery and don't think about anything else. Stay in a good mood. Huamin reminded her again. Okay. Cici nodded. Huamin glanced at Rick. You won't leave her here alone, right? No, Rick said with a straight face. Okay. Take good care of Cici. Call me anytime. Then, Huamin packed up and drove to the company to help Qin Shu with some documents. Then, he went back to South Hill Manor to pick up some things. Then, he left Sea City with the New Year goodies that Suyu bought for him and his bodyguards. He headed to the Hot Spring Hotel to meet up with his family. Southside VIP room, have an apple. Rick handed it to her. I don't want one. Apples are good for you. What's good for me? Cici looked up at Rick. Rick thought hard for a while and said with a straight face, You'll be fair. Cici burst out laughing. So you're saying that the reason why those people are so tanned is because they haven't eaten apples? Then, Africans have never eaten an apple in their lives? Rick, haha, okay. I'll stop teasing you. Cici took the apple and took a bite. To be honest, Rick really didn't know how to take care of people, let alone patients and women. The first time he took care of Cici, the two of them had a lot of funny stories. Huamin was worried that Qin Shu should find a caregiver because Rick didn't look professional. However, Rick was worried and insisted on taking care of Cici himself. Cici didn't want to leave him either. I want to watch TV, Cici said as she ate the apple. Rick turned on the television and silently switched to the children's channel. He found Boonie Bears. I don't want Boonie Bears. I like to watch Peppa Pig now. Cici pouted. Rick, although the hospital was Cici's least favorite place, she felt that this was the happiest day of her life because Rick was here with her. It was simply impossible for Rick to bring his subordinates to stay in the Southern District. The entire European and American markets were in a mess. No one could find the godfather of the underworld. No one would have thought that he was hiding in a hospital in a city, accompanying his little girlfriend, living a life of daily necessities, living a life of luxury. In the blink of an eye, it was New Year's Eve. The hotel had prepared a New Year's Eve dinner. Everyone was in the restaurant, watching the Spring Festival Gala live broadcast on a huge screen. Then, the young people all took out their phones and sent all kinds of red packets and snatched red packets. Huamin gave Suyu 8 red packets of 188 yuan each. Each red packet had a word written on it. There were a total of 8 words. The New Year, great luck and great success. Is this the legendary reign of red packets? Suyu replied with a smile. Lord Su, Happy New Year. Huamin sent Suyu a red packet first because she wanted to thank him the most. Same to you, Vice Director Hua, Suyu replied. Sir, it's almost time. The dumplings will be ready soon. Can we set off the fireworks now? The restaurant manager walked over and asked Chin Chu carefully. Sure, Mr. Chin said coolly. 10 seconds later, fireworks bloomed outside the hotel. The twins were still kids after all. Seeing the sky full of fireworks, they were so excited that they jumped up and ran to the observation deck. Wow, it's so beautiful, Little Bean and Pudding exclaimed. Honey, is there something on your mind? Chin Chu noticed that Huamin was a little distracted. Honey, Huamin looked up at Chin Chu, wanted to say something, but hesitated. I know who you're thinking about. Chin Chu put his arm around her shoulders and comforted her. Then, Chin Chu put his hand on Huamin's shoulder and pointed at the entrance of the restaurant. Honey, look over there. Huamin looked in the direction of Chin Chu's finger. Instantly, tears welled up in her eyes. You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.